am the Ronin Pawn, and welcome to a twitch.tv/Ronin Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/Ronin Pawn. Opening up, straight away, coming out of the gate, swinging with multiple cheers from Angelus2141, saying, "Isn't it great, I'm here?" And then, Pawn, everyone wants you to play Minecraft instead, especially me, since I just started construction next to your house. I have not been on the server since the live stream on Wednesday. Minecraft server that we've got, mc.roninpawn.com. Log on today. I haven't been on the server since then, for a reason too. Wow, 3 hours, 45 minutes on my feet, as man with the chronic fatigue syndromes. Don't want to do that regularly. I was supposed to go somewhere yesterday. That didn't happen at all. So yeah, I haven't been on, but I have seen screenshots, and of course, I build a house, move in, and boom, suddenly surrounded by apparently like multiple pyramid towers shooting those beams of light up into the sky, and people building bridges. Apparently 14th Doctor made me a farm out front of my house. I'm like, I haven't even been back. Oh my god, I'm still trying to recover from the last one. Hello Hologram 1, hello the 14th Doctor, hello to Angelus2141, hello Cavoodle, hello It's a Secret to Every Pony. I see that you're on the server now. I wanna run into you someday in Minecraft. I wanna come and visit your general store for those great deals. But that's not what we're doing today. Today, we're doing some Kerbal Space Program, is what we're doing. Hologram 1, until further notice. Don't expect XCOM for a while. I don't think Paul would like to do it for a while. Definitely not in the remaining 2 weeks of December. Don't say that, the 14th Doctor. I am totally coming back to... Yeah. Totally coming back to about XCOM very shortly. It just worked out this week such that, you know, I wanted to do a bit of Kerbal on Wednesday, which was one of our usual XCOM days, and then Friday was the Minecraft, because we just launched a server. I wanted to get back into there, and I woke up, I had all this energy, and now that I've done Minecraft, on Friday, it was Friday, did I say it was Wednesday before? On Friday, you know, I'll be in recovery for the next 2 weeks, so you can look forward to some XCOM. Jesus. I'm sorry. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. There's also a way to play, Vivecraft, Minecraft, virtual reality Minecraft as a do, seated. Because Vivecraft is not just for the Vive anymore. People, you can use it with your iPhone crazy things, which don't do that. And you can use it with the Oculus Rift. There's a lot of options. They've been expanding Vivecraft to support everyone and not just room scale stuff. And welcome to the stream, Medusa Lord. Because you're new here, you get 10 bonus points. Yes, before the questions start pouring in, there's some issues with the bot and power flow to the bot and houses going out of power and with Nobit in chat there. So circuits being jumped and whatnot. So the points file, I believe, was lost. And I'm pretty sure Noah did his best to give people back a fair amount of points as a, oops, sorry, this will happen occasionally, and it will. You know, what are you gonna do? Nobut runs on a friggin' Arduino or something like that, so what are you gonna do? Occasionally, things are gonna happen. Things are gonna happen, and people are gonna lose their points, and, you know, hey, we didn't lose your passwords, like, most of the major online internet providers have done over the course of the past couple of years here. Noah Crowdsharing 5, reworking Nobut for the next couple days. I DM'd you about it. Oh, I haven't seen yet. Currently running a light version for basic raffle functionality and stuff like that, says Noah Craw. Well, thank you, Noah. Thank you, Noah. See, he works hard to keep us up and running. And getting through to the other side of the little hiccups that are going to come along, especially while you're doing some crazy things like we're doing with Nobut, which is, you know, integrating him. We're attempting anyway. We'll see how it goes. Noah, primarily, and Alex. But Noah is attempting to integrate Nobot into the Minecraft server, mc.roninpawn.com, and if we can get that going, there's going to be some very fun things that you can do with Nobut on the server. I don't want to promise anything, because I don't know what Noah's experience has been trying to get that up and running and how incredibly difficult it is or isn't. But wouldn't it be nifty if you could spend your pawn points at Pony's General Store, where there are such great deals? Sorry, Noah. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. What we are doing today is we are going to be fanboying and just spurting. We're going to be expositioning all about my favorite little craft that I ever done made as of to this date. My favorite functional craft. There have been other craft that I've made that have been more for the lulz that I like. We've had flying Voltron men made out of probe parts that disconnect into 5 pieces. We've had helicarriers of 300 and some parts count with tweak scale to make it huge. We've flown them through the air and landed planes on a flying helicarrier, and we've done a lot of things. But I'll tell you what, as of today, especially in career mode and especially for brute force workhorse function, let's say that 3 times fast. Brute force workhorse function. I did Minecraft the other day. I'm still recovering. In terms of that, I think I've done the best thing that I've ever done in terms of building a craft that's actually really frigging useful. And it is. You may recognize that I've gone through and arranged. I've sorted out my giant list of parts. I've deleted a lot of the stuff that was just like, steps on the way to getting somewhere. Our list is 1/3 what it used to be, and it's still pretty large. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me introduce you. We started with the Orbital Minmus Pilgrim, okay? And we were trying to go to Minmus and pick up some science and come home, and I screwed that up, and the Minmus Pilgrim had to be rescued by the Orbital Kerbal Pilgrim, okay? And then I'm pretty sure I also screwed that up. It didn't do half of what it was supposed to be. But now, ladies and gentlemen, after many refinements and much spooging, we have just the Pilgrim 1.0. I promise you it's under there somewhere. The Pilgrim 1.0 is my favorite craft ever, at least, right now, as of today. This is a little bit of awesome. This is a lot of awesome, is what it is. You know how much I like small craft that do a lot, right? So, let me just grab this and yank it off. Here's your Pilgrim 1.0, ladies and gentlemen. The Pilgrim is a monoprop exclusive craft, designed for transit between Moon, Minmus, and Kerbin. Or, you could get to Duna on this thing, I'm pretty sure. We have 2000 Delta V in it. If you took a kick from the moon and stuff, I think you could get out there. I don't know how you'd stop, but you could get out there. Might be able to land on Ike, I don't know. The Pilgrim has been through refinement and refinement and refinement and refinement again. And it may not look that much different than what we started with, but that's because everything has been a subtle minutia, little tiny thing in order to get a little bit more out of it and to make it a little bit more perfect and to make it more survivable on re-entry and to this and to that and to the other. And good Lord, I am in love with this tiny, wee, babby little craft. Takes 2 Kerbals. 2 Kerbals can go anywhere within Kerbin's sphere of influence. You can't necessarily come home. If you land on the moon with this thing, you're on your own, buddy. But I'm pretty sure you can land on Minmus and come home with the kind of Delta V I'm carrying on the deal. And that Delta V is true Delta V. Trust me on that. We now have elevons at the rear instead of wings for controlling our descent back into atmosphere when and where we want it. Also for looking absolutely awesome. We run this thing on 2 Puff monoprop fuel engines from the rear. I have replaced, in previous versions, the RCS thruster blocks that we had with linear ports because it saved just a tiny bit of, I believe, 0.02 tons to do it this way instead of the other way. Which means that this craft has gotten a little bit more difficult to fly. Angeles 2141 Cheering 5 Houston, as per your secret deal with the FCC, a report must now be submitted with regards to the safety and construction standards of Pawn's craft. Also, we have those special Japanese roasted beans as agreed. Oh, someone has bribed Houston with coffee? God, you could do it to me today. I made this little pot of, you know how I make coffee. It's super weak. It's basically coffee tea. Oh my god. Oh my god, it feels so good in my, cockles. What was I saying about this? Something about the fins. The fins are awesome, and I have tested this craft to death. You will notice that I spent some of our science points cheap, like 160 of them. I'm sorry, we got almost 2,000 of them in the bank. I spent them without you because I wanted to know whether or not this craft could take, instead of the heavier landing strips it's got on now, if it could take the toothpicks. And it can, and they work, kind of, if you don't come back through atmosphere, because their heat tolerance is, they've got a skin temperature of 1200 Kelvin, so they burn up in the atmosphere when you bring this thing down. So I decided against it. It wasn't worth the added, you can get a little bit more Delta V, like 100 and something extra Delta V by switching these out for the lighter weight ones, but then you can't come home, and then it's a little bit less of a workhorse, okay? How, Ronan Pawn, did you manage to squeeze 2,036 meters per second of Delta V into a craft this tiny that only weighs 5.16 tons when full? How did you do it, Mr. Ronan Pawn, especially considering that this fuel tank is for jet fuel? Well, I've emptied it out. As you can see, I've shoved a fair bit of monoprop in there. All those tanks, and when you get real close and real tight, and you look down on the inside of it, you'll see that I have cheated. It's not, alright, it's not cheating. I swear to God, it's not cheating. I have 3, okay, there is a whole column of, in fact, screw it, show it properly, Pawn. Rip the head off, and then bite the snake down the throat, and then Ozzy Osbourne. So there's our column of monoprop that's wedged in there. It is this tall, and then the last one sticks out the butt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 monoprops fit, spatially inside this thing, and then I've tacked 3 more on the sides there. And you may say I'm cheating, but you're wrong. Because I like it. You're wrong because there is so much more space in here than I have used even with those 3. If we look down from the sides, you'll see, look at all the empty space there. These 3, even though they're penetrating the one a little bit, they would totally fit in this volumetric space of this cone. That's how I get 2,000 Delta V out of it, and, if you have a problem with that, submit it to the FCC, along with some really fine roast Brazilian coffee or something, because apparently Houston is against me. What's the plan today, says the Thacker? The plan today is to do something with the Pilgrim, because I'm so chuffed at this build. At one point, I had the Z200 rechargeable battery bank down here, but after I tacked extra Delta V in there, it was coming down, I had it like down here, and it just looked too long in the butt for my taste, Too long in the butt. And then I did the math, I did my homework, I looked into it and found out that this one is precisely half the weight, okay? 0.05 tons to this 0.01 ton, and it's exactly half the amount of electric charge, so there is no downside to taking 2 tack-on electric units instead of 1 inline. I was saying I replaced the monoprop ports, which makes it a little bit more difficult to fly because in this configuration I've got 5 linears, which adds up to 0.18 tons, I think, whereas 4 thruster blocks is 0.2 tons. We lose rotation by RCS, but we've got a lot of electricity, and we've got a lot of SAS, reaction wheels, and control authority from that, so that works out. The way that it gets difficult to fly is that these puff engines are the only ones that fire backwards, that only fire on your prograde. So I've got the last of the linear ports tucked right in there where it just looks beautiful. It looks like part of the design right underneath the little headlamp there. So you can fire forward, but you can't turn RCS on and H forward. You gotta use shift. So it requires a gentle touch and a steady hand. I have gotten us to a drogue parachute a drogue and a radial mounted parachute. I started out with 2 parachutes. That worked. I figured that the thing was, when you came back down through atmosphere and you blasted that first parachute, you were going to snap your Kerbal's necks with the G-forces. Even with the drogue on there, it gets close to the rat. But so we switched over to the drogue, which saved us some weight and made us more efficient, for one thing. But also, you know, save the Kerbal's lives so that you don't get whiplash every time you go to space with that. So that's the Pilgrim 1.0. Alright, 2,000 meters per second of delta V from orbit. You put this thing into orbit, and then you get there. This is the Pilgrim Ultralight. The Ultralight, upon which I have, in fact... Wow, the Ultralight. I missed something on this because I was tinkering with it for so long. On the Ultralight, this one doesn't come back from orbit. This one has to stay in space because it just can't return. It's not designed for it. It doesn't have parachutes. It doesn't have landing legs, which means it also doesn't need those elevons. Yeah, it doesn't need those elevons, which means the delta V on this goes up to 2,341 delta V on oops, I screwed it up. On a craft that stays in space. You put this up in space, you can go to Moon, you can go to Minmus, you can go to a space station, just do not come home, is the basic idea there. Yeah, wow, 2,400 on a tiny little craft like this. I am so friggin' happy with this build. Still got electric charge. Alright, so resave the Ultralight. Now, we've looked at the Pilgrim. Kerbal necks are very resistant to damage, this hologram one. WTF is this thing, says Synapse49, and Pythagoras says, this is Pawn. Hi, I'm the thing on your screen right now. I'm sorry if I'm talking fast and I'm excited about this. Because I took a long time building it, and I'm very, very proud of it. The lifter stage, going back to the Pilgrim 1.0, not the Ultralight, the standard. The lifter stage is as efficient as I've ever built a lifter stage, at least if you look up here by the numbers. We get to orbit with 3,451 delta V. And how does it do that? Well, because it's lying to you. Because Kerbal Engineer doesn't understand what's going on here. But, because I've never gotten to orbit with less than probably 3,550. But 3,450 and we get there, and that is a safe amount of delta V. You will hit orbit with 3,451. Anus Lord, cheering 5. Oi, Pawn! This is the only way to get your attention. Yes, it is. Keep cheering. What did you want my attention for? I don't see anything in chat where you were trying to wave me down. Thank you for the cheers. This, okay, you get up to orbit. The lifter stage. Okay. Settle down, Pawn. The lifter stage, it's so good, though. Alright, look at this. We come up on our thumpers. We start off the pad with about, in fact, I'm going to tweak that a little bit. We want to start off of the pad with 1.3 TWR on our SRBs. So resave that. I hope I'm not breaking this, because it's very important that I never lose this, because I'm so proud of it. We come off the pad with 1.3 atmospheric TWR. Okay, we have 869 meters per second. That gets us to like 6 kilometers or so on this relatively lightweight craft for pulling up a 5-ton payload. We drop those, we switch over to the SRBs. This is, crossfeed has been enabled on it. So the fuel that's up here, 360 of it, transfers to the tanks that are down here. We burn all 3 of these engines at once. Why do we burn all these engines at once? Because the swivel isn't powerful enough to get us up there on her own. She needs, in order to hit 0.98 atmospherically. Did something change on this craft? Well, we're going to find out today. In order to hit a positive TWR, don't look at that, we needed to be burning the more engines. So I eventually got around to putting these 2 on, and they give you so much control authority because now you got the swivel with all of its gimbal, and you got these with all of their gimbal. You burn all of this in order to get you up to space. You burn them all. Then, with the last maybe 100 meters per second of delta V that you've got left in the tank, you drop these tanks and that engine, and you finish your circularization using just these 2 little, very efficient, relatively efficient, these little radial mounted engines without dragging the weight of that lifter stage for that last, you squeeze so much more out of that last 100, 150 meters per second of delta V, you make orbit, and then Separatrons fire and make sure that this whole stage gets dropped back into the atmosphere behind you as you push off to wherever the hell you're going today. I'm a little bit concerned about that 0.98 TWR. I don't remember that being that way. We'll have to fly it. Maybe there will be some more refinement. I refine this design until I got every little tiny wee babby bit of Delta V out of it, and I'm so happy with it. We need a mission that goes along with this, and we need people to fly it. So raffle, open, people to fly it. Okay, I'm not being creative right now. I'm being excited about this craft. 3451 meters per second of Delta V we're showing on that, and it gets to orbit. I'm very happy, but we do need a mission to run whilst we do this, and I'm sure we got something, right? Something at Minmus would be good. You give me a little mission at Minmus, this thing can get there and come back, no matter which version I took. Be great. So what do we got active right now? We've got grab an asteroid, we've got recover a part from Minmus. I don't want to put a claw on this, no. Position a satellite in specific orbit of the sun. No, and then test that. Alright, give me a mission that I want. Science data from surface of Minmus. Okay. Take that, because that's cheap and easy. Plant flag on, no. Build a new orbital station around Minmus. I do want to get around to that. What are your, necessities? Facilities supporting 19 Kerbals in Minmus? I know it's fun to be at Minmus. 3 pilots, viewing cupola. A research lab, we've got one on the surface. Stability for in orbit. That's a lot of crap for that one. Ferry 5 tourists safely to their destinations. Do you guys want to go to the Minmus? You want to fly by the moon, fly by Minmus. Suborbital, fly by the moon. Fly by Minmus. Fly by the moon. Okay, orbit around the moon. See, you should probably put these things like in the order... Oh, they have? Land on moon. Orbit moon. Orbit moon, land on moon, and then land on... No, they haven't. What the hell, Kerbal Space Program? Look at these lists! Like, you can't order these in terms of, like, and then this would happen, and then... Land on the moon is the first one here, then orbit the moon, then fly by the moon, then fly by Minmus. Okay, so you're going top to bottom. Then at the bottom, suborbital spaceflight on Kerbin, orbit around the moon, fly by Minmus, and land on Minmus. So now you're going top to bottom to top. What? You know what you can do? You can take your ridiculous, we didn't think about it and we don't care style of game design and get in the next room. Build a new orbital station around the moon. No. Houston, it has come to our attention. Cheers, Angeles, 2141. It has come to our attention that Ronan Pawn may have discovered your espionage. We recommend you leave before next launch. We have a new identity for you and a new home in Colombia. We thought you'd appreciate the coffee there. He can't leave. I've got him chained to the desk with leg cuffs. When he goes to work at McDonald's, I give him a little collar he's got. He would never disobey my orders. Observational surveys of the new moon. Oh, no. What? Unless surface sample. No. Equatorial orbit of Kerbin. We had a mission for a polar orbit. Please note, this must be a new unmanned probe built for Winter Owl Aircraft Imperium after the contract is accepted. Reach the designated equatorial orbit within reasonable deviation. What about the polar one that we had? Did it already expire? Well, they don't have any good missions for me today, do they? Bring a newly discovered Class C asteroid into orbit around Minmus. I will take that. Because we didn't have a Class A before. Class C is a lot heavier, isn't it? I will not take that. I am not interested. This is not my beautiful home. This is not my beautiful wife. Houston, a lockpick was included in the last batch of coffee labeled "Don't Drink." We hope you didn't drink it. The lockpick isn't gonna... I've cemented his feet. No, I didn't do it. Plant flag on Duna. None of this is right. None of it. I'll take your satellite equatorial just for having it. But the best thing we've gotten so far is science data from the surface of Minmus. We just made this trip, but I don't care. It's an excuse to fly the Pilgrim. So we're going to fly the Pilgrim. We're going to take the excuse. It's what we're going to do. You guys ready for this? Have you all bought your tickets in the raffle with the points that you don't have anymore? You got it? Good. I am very much still in recovery from the Minecraft stream. But I'm feeling better and better every day. I finally got over my illness, my throat illness. And well, I haven't gotten over it. What it's done is it's migrated from the chest and throat into the nasal cavities, which is far more convenient for me. Less of the hacking up chunks of phlegm throughout the day. Welcome to my live stream, where we talk about my phlegm. What's up, my humanoid, says the Soviet tank. Hello, Soviet tank. Here's free 10 points because we lost your points. It'll happen. Get over it. Get a helmet. I'm gonna draft some Kerbals in right friggin' now. Have I already done it? You've already... Raffle close. People to fly it is now closed. Raffle... Droll. We're running on a very lightweight version of no, but let's see if the droll is working. Okay, maybe droll is not initiated. Only roll. Raffle, roll! Athacra! It's the light version, says Noakra. Okay, and Athacra and Tisapef, your tickets. Jesus, Tisapef! It's almost unfair how often you win these things. Does Nobot favor Tisapef for some reason? Athacra and Tisapef. Don't change the damn 4am flag. Personal mission test capabilities of the Pilgrim. Oh, thank you, Mage Lord Exelberth. I found a mission in Kerbal that I wanted to fly. Oh, thank you. Pawn, it's boring up here on the moon, says Anus Lord. Anus Lord. Well, what do you want me to do it? We can send you, like, I don't know, backgammon? What do you like? You like Monopoly? That'll eat up a lot of time and make you think that the moon is not boring anymore if you play some Monopoly. Tisapef and Athacra, are either of you down here? No, I've sent off all of the Tisapefs already to places, destinations unknown. Thacra and a Tisapef is what we need in this program. So, cheat me in some Kerbals. Kerbal, create. Thacra, you were selected first. You're going to be the Palet at Level Tau. And that's fine. You decided to be a man. That's not up to me. That's up to you. Thacra and Tisapef again. There's too many Tisapefs out here. Tisapef, the Tisapef, the revisiting. And you're going to be a woman, because we just got to balance out the genders here. We'll have you be an engineer for this flight, level 2 engineer, create the Kerbal, and now I got 2 people to fly this thing, to Minmus, to land, and come home. I think we've got enough Delta V. I didn't check them. I probably checked the math at some point. I just don't remember. In the Pilgrim, 1.0. My favorite little craft to date. It's... You know, on the last live stream, I built the best house I've ever built in Minecraft. So happy with the way that house looks. And then in Kerbal, I just built this, and it's my favorite little craft ever. I really hope it flies good the first try here for you. I'm concerned about that 0.98 TWR that it was showing, because I do not recall that being the way, and I probably stopped paying attention to our SRB to liquid fuel switchover at some point. We're going to find out, though. First off, let me turn the lights on, because I like the look of that when it's got its own lights on. Especially when you get to space, but even from here, look at that. Nice, beautiful, lovely morning here at the Space Center. We are ready to lift off and go to the place, the Minmuses. Houston, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm still nailed to the desk here, like you like.
I told you what I did. Angela's cheering, 5. The best house in Minecraft. Wait till you see my house. It'll make yours look like an outhouse. Well, I said the best house that I've ever made. Angelus, you can't beat me in that competition because you can't make me make house make. That's how you can always be the best of you, and the world can never take that away.
Unless they chain you to a desk in order to keep you from going to McDonald's to work.
Unless they do that. If they do that, then yes, you're kind of boned.
And how? In 3, 2, 1, fire.
And we're up and away in the Pilgrim 1.0. Pawns the Pilgrim 1.0. TWR off the pad of 1.3 as we come up. When we hit about 50 meters per second, I start nudging us down the ball. Little nudgies. I'm going to turn the aerodynamics forces on so we can watch those as we come up. Just a little nudgy down the ball. I have noticed on this craft possibly a slight imbalance in the weighting of the Pilgrim causes us to want to drift down to the northward on the ball as we're going up. So I do correct from that a little bit. If I get it right, then I can just do it through the SRB stage like I've been doing. Just a couple of taps on the old S. You tap that S. We'll get you right back on the line. You switch over to this one. How's our TWR? Good. We kept making speed. From here, I'm just going to have a Thakra take over for me. Follow your prograde. Although you're probably going to turn over a little bit faster than I want you to, so I may intervene here in a minute. But look at this thing fly. Look at it. And I found out, like, I hadn't used the Twitch fuel engines very often in my designs before this, and I found out just how freaking good and useful they are. You know, I've been using Sparks because in my testing, Sparks were basically the most friggin' efficient engine in the game. The non-nuclear, I suppose. Oh, I'm a little bit north now. I overcorrected. Give me stability assist. Pull me back down. This thing is really stable, too. I'm not flying with follow prograde to keep us stable as we go up. We do not need fins. We are super overstable. We've got a lot of... I don't know, it just feels good in the wind. Maybe it's this design. Also, did you notice I've had aerodynamics effects on this whole time. Did you see any? Do we have any drag on this craft whatsoever? Because I'm going to say, you know, I didn't, there's probably a little bit somewhere, but good lord. It worked, says the Noose Lord. Oh my god, beard, says Mr. Fluffy. Yeah, we've taken some votes, and the community is against me keeping the beard. We're gonna, we'll get rid of it soon, especially since I can't even be bothered to shave the neck or trim it anymore. It was a good idea once upon a time. Now it's just a thing growing on my face. I don't think I've flown this the way that I like to fly it. I turned it down a little bit too much in the SRB stage, so now we're a little bit low. It's fine. It'll work out. It'll work out. Hit prograde. We've got 800 meters per second of delta V remaining as of now, and burning full prograde with our APWAPs at 44k and still climbing. Our surface speed still climbing. Noah Craw, cheering 5. Keep the beard, keep the beard, keep the beard. Well, I can keep it. I mean, I'll keep it in the other room. I'm just saying, maybe not on my face, I'm going to go straight down to the horizon now and burn for as much speed as I can get before we're done here. 200 and something meters per second delta V left in the tanks, and killing the engines right there, right then. Maybe a little bit low. I might lose a lot of that APWAPs, but we made 2,000. We probably made about 2,200 meters per second of delta V. We're going to scrub some of it as we approach our APWAPs here. We have 187 meters per second of delta V left in the tanks. That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. Almost too much. That tells me that I flew it a little bit differently than I like to. But it doesn't matter. This thing gets to orbit no matter how the frig you fly it. You sometimes might have to burn a little bit of fuel out of the Pilgrim at the tip, But if you have to burn something out of your tip, that's a good weekend is all that is. Give me Fizz Warp and get us up here. Normally Pawn's Craft go more this way, and then is that a Christmas tree on fire burning toward the ground? Angela's, where the hell do you guys get these emoticons? Do your beard like you do your hair, says Mr. Fliffy. Suppose I could wear a merkin on my face. I mean, I do it in my off time. 70.7 on the APWAPs. We are right low in terms of where we're going to be. Okay, get down to Fizz Warp, because get ready, kids. The next stage of this blows off the fairings and loses the parts that we don't need anymore. We don't need that engine or those fuel tanks. They are empty. We've got all of the remaining fuel in here, and we went from 100 and some. We got 225 meters per second of delta V anyway. APWAPs is coming up on us pretty quick. T-minus 18 seconds. I'm dead on prograde. Start burning now, because now all we have to fuel our burning is these wee babby little Twitch engines. They're the only things pushing. We got 0.57 TWR as of right now, and we gotta get this thing to orbit. with the remaining 160 meters per second of Delta V that's left in the tanks. Periaps at negative 75 kilometers and coming up. I'm going to have to go stability assist and lean us up a little bit so that we don't lose the Apwaps too much behind us. We are very low right now. There we go. Hold the Apwaps just there. It'll start coming back as we make a little bit more speed. Periaps coming up now. 60 meters per second of Delta V left in the tanks, and here comes the Periaps. Here she comes. Apwaps coming back up on me. Nosing back down toward prograde. Just a little bit of Delta V remaining in these tanks. Killing it at 58. No. Go all the way, Pawn. Go all the way. What do we got? 3 meters per second of Delta V left in the tanks. 2 meters, 1 meter per second. Alright, we got 62 kilometers. We drop that stage, and boom, and stop the engines. Oh, crap. I was throttled up a little bit, wasn't I? Periaps now at 65 kilometers. Turn my RCS on. And then, as we approach the Apwaps, I'm just going to burn ever so slightly, and I'm going to use RCS. Little taps on L to pull the Apwaps back toward us as we do this, because it's just how I want to do it. There you go. And boom, we've got a circularization. Apwaps 70.7 and 70.65. That is a lovely circularization. We've been delivered to orbit with 2,016 meters per second Delta V in the Pilgrim. In this tiny little craft, 2,000 meters per second of Delta V. Capable of doing anything you want to do with it within Kerbin's sphere of influence. Go to the moon? Sure. Come home from the moon? Alright, there's one thing you can't do. Go to Minmus? Sure. Come home from Minmus? Sure. You can do that with 2,000 Delta V. No probs. That's a nice little craft indeed, says the Soviet tank, isn't it? Isn't it? And I'm not cheating. I swear to you, I do have the 3 tanks embedded weirdly in here, but look at the space. Look at the volumetric space that's in this model for that. The fuel that they are containing would totally fit in this space, no problem. Maybe even with, an extra tank. I'm not going to push it that far. 3 tanks is as far as I'll go, and I can still tell myself I didn't cheat. We have, in terms of monoprop, F5 from here, we have all of the axes, up, down, left, right and left, whatever. We got all those axes. We can fire from the tip and go backwards a little bit with the N, fire from our tip. We do not have an axis firing backwards, which means you have to use the, actual puff monoprop engines for going backwards, but because I did that, we came up with a little bit more Delta V than we would have otherwise. I love this thing. This is exactly the craft that I wanted to park. It was... In my head, I imagined a bunch of little efficient craft. I didn't know what they were going to look like, but these things parked all over the PBR Hammer low Kerbin orbit space station that we've got here at Kerbin. This is what I wanted up there. And right now, I've got one of them. I've got the early prototype, when everything went wrong, is parked up there from a mission that we ran. I didn't put it there while you weren't around. It's, 2-3 episodes ago, 2-3 live streams ago, we took up the first one that inspired this final design. I'm so happy with this friggin' craft. And the other thing is, okay, you know how I always forget to turn RCS off, and then I'll go to warp, and then we'll come out of it, and it'll try to go to prograde or something like that, and I'll be like, ah, crap, you're wasting my fuel. Check this out. Well, our tanks are full at least, even with RCS on. They're so perfectly balanced to the center that there's barely, they just puff a little bit of monoprop because they can't really help with the firing. So we're using our electric resources and our SAS in order to make those things instead of burning out RCS, even when I forget to do my job and turn the RCS off when we're not using it. This is the perfect craft for me. It takes care of all of the things that I do wrong. And I usually do wrong. And this one, I definitely want to upload this somewhere so that you guys can download it, possibly at discord.roninpawn.com, our Discord server. That number again, discord.roninpawn.com, our Discord server. Yee! How you guys doing, by the way? Ooh, you've got Natasha up here with you. And who is this, by the way? Who's it? Thakra? Yeah, Thakra, you're the pilot. And you are apparently... What's his name? Munster? Eddie Munster? Was the haircut you went for? You went into the barber and said, yeah, give me the 7-foot-tall platform shoe, greasy-haired zombie monster look. And there you go. You're welcome. All the ladies, they love the merkin on your face. Right. A vertical landing with that, says Mr. Fluffy. We can do whatever kind of landings we want. These legs, it comes back to, it's my perfect kind of craft because it's so close to not working. It's so right on the edge of everything. These legs have an impact tolerance of 12 meters per second. When you come home in this craft, you'll see if things go well. But when you come home in this craft, you basically, when both of these parachutes are out, you land with about 10 meters per second. So these are just enough to not explode and keep you alive, Bone Scratcher. Thank you for the follow. What's the other thing? Things heat up to the point where they could, everything is right on the edge and everything works perfectly. It's very stable. I think you could throw this thing at Kerbin from Minmus pretty flippantly and just slam it into the atmosphere and it would still get through. I don't know, but we can test that today. You need to make an upscaled version of the Pilgrim that can be specialized for any mission. I'd love to see a Duna fleet of Pilgrims, each with different purposes. I mean, the way these are built, we could, put a docking port on the back of here and then create, a little thing and have 4 of them at the tip of a 5-meter fairing, and then just have something that drives it out toward Duna and then these things take off, or... They're so tiny, they're so small, they fit everywhere. Trust me, I've tried it. I love it. I love it. We've given ourselves a mission to go to, Minmus. Oh, and there's my equatorial, probe mission. Yeah, whatever. We've given ourselves a mission to go to Minmus. It did want us to get science from the surface. So, why not? Just why not? Is what I say. Where's my descending ascending node? It's here. So... if I left for Minmus here, that would be the wrong time. You wouldn't get there, Paul. Right. So give me a maneuver there, and I can't remember how to get to Minmus. Suddenly realizing that I forget how to do this. Can I get, ticks? Well, no, not unless you actually, put the prograde on that you're going to need in order to get there. Give me a maneuver, prograde me out. Okay, this is the wrong time to be leaving for Minmus, but I don't know. Maybe we'll hit the moon and it'll kick us along, or maybe I can make it work or something like that. You can't. Okay, well then we'll go from the right time. We'll go at the right time, and then we'll make a little bit of a correction on the inclination when we get out in the direction of the erection. So from here, and then let's pull me down or up, or no, down. Give me down. I just want to, damn it. I just want to know when's the best time to leave. There you go. There you go. So it's going to be right about there. Right out there is going to be the ideal time to leave, just when Minmus is coming over the horizon. But we'll do it, even though we're going to be off of the inclination and it'll need a correction. I just don't want to wait. I'm too excited. I'm too giddy. Node coming up in 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So take me up to it, and let's burn for Minmus. Warp to the next maneuver. How much? Estimated burn of 2 minutes. Perfect. When we get to the node, we get on our prograde, and we immediately fire, and we'll be fine. Right? We have 1 minute to the node, we're on our prograde, immediately fire. Estimated burn of 2 minutes. Good. Good. Drop it. I don't need that. I don't need you in my life anymore. We're heading to Minmus, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream, Novus Static. Here's 10 pawn points, and look at my beautiful craft. Burning for Minmus. I love small things. Most of the things that I'm proud of are wee babby things. For example, the Moon Tractor. The Moon Tractor is a very small thing that I packed a whole bunch of stuff into. A whole bunch of science, a whole bunch of functionality. Even our, what was it? The Voltron thing that I made, that 5 different probes attached in order to shape a robot and he flies. Even that is a very small thing, because it's all built out of probes. Relatively speaking, it's the size of a plane. I like small things that just barely get the job done. Hell, even our dump truck, relatively speaking, is, the excitement part for me, the part that interested me in the designing of it, was making a orbital refueler, SSTO, as small as I could, using the parts that I had available, the Panther. I like riding the edge of viability, and this is the best craft I've ever made because it doesn't ride the edge of viability. I mean, it does in so many ways, but it in all of the ways that it rides the edge, it does so that it can have all of the friggin' Delta V in the world. So that it can do anything that we need it to, anywhere within the realm of Kerbin. Get me out there to something like that. Something like that, and then we'll need to do an inclination correction in order to insert our injection with an erection. Your package, says Thacker? What? What? Up your bum. I have tested this thing in a number of conditions that I can't discuss openly. Okay? There's the PBR hammer. Oh, we could have met up with the PBR hammer before we left. We're on our way, Pawn. Let's head out to Minmus. Take me... We still got Minmus's targeted, right? Yes, you do. Take me about halfway there, I suppose. Warp me there. I can never be bothered to do this any more efficiently than I can be bothered to do this. Oh, we grabbed Scatterer. We grabbed the atmosphere of Kerbin. It's fine. For a minute here, we'll be doing most of our maneuvers from Minmus, actually. Focus the view on Minmus, and then look back at you, and then give me a little, maneuver. I shouldn't really need it, but here I am nonetheless. What? Why do I have two apoapses? I presume this is the real one, and that's the one, like, after we go around again and we're gonna hit a thing or something? I don't understand why I have two apoapses. I'm just gonna make a maneuver, add maneuver, because the blue one is the one where you're going, and then if they color another one, then it's gotta be something else. Give me a maneuver, and then pull, where am I going? No! No! What did I do? Did I not go for... Why do I have two apoapses? What did I do? Just took a shower, says Signing. My purple is where I actually am? I didn't have 5 when we... Did I have 5? I don't know, maybe I have 5. I don't know. Damn it now, game. Damn it. You're on your prograde. Do I still have a maneuver node that I made? What am I looking at? Someone explain it to me. Why is my blue apparently not where I'm going? No, it is. Is it? Add a maneuver. It just snapped to the purple when you were trying to make the maneuver node? I don't friggin' know. Give me back... What? Node in... Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Jesus, hell. And then, which way are you going? You're pulling down. Game? Work with me. I'm so excited for you, and then you're gonna screw me over like this? So now my apoaps is there, but we're not finding Minmus for some reason. Put a little bit more prograde on it. There you go. There's my periaps coming in, for a cost of 20-some meters per second. You've got a moon intercept one. The purple one is your trajectory after the encounter. Okay, that's what thank you, Soviet tank. That's what I thought too, but I guess because the maneuver node I made snapped to the purple instead of the blue, I was like, well, wait a second. And, I just don't trust Kerbal the way that most people do. Kerbal has never been trustworthy in my gameplay. There's always been something going on that I'm like, wait. No, that can't be. You don't mean that, do you? And Kerbal's always been like, yes, I mean that. I thought for a second, maybe sometimes they use different colors. We just looked at the friggin' mission profiles where they got, it's in one list, it's sorted from top to bottom, and the next list is sorted from bottom to top. In the next one, it's just not sorted. Where are you going, Pawn? Well, I want to be equatorial. I want to be equatorial just for the sake of doing it. If I'm going to do it, let's do it. Get me down around the equator. It'll be somewhere in there, eh? Yeah, that's pretty close to something equatorial, I think. What are you? The Groping Minmus's Margarine Mark 1. Okay, so you're a little bit wonky for some reason, but that is nice and equatorial, and that is nice and low at Minmus. That's where we're injecting our insertion erection to Minmus. Oh my god. Ugh. The coffee is upsetting my stomach. I didn't eat anything. Just woke up and came to the live stream. It's been, since the, wait, what are you doing, Pawn? Well, you're gonna go to your next node and you're gonna do that thing. It's been the chronic fatigue after the fatigue that I got after. I don't need to complain, do I? Listen, most of my life is fatigue, so I'm just telling you what happened in my day. So in my day, the fatigue after that live stream was a hell of a thing, boy. All of yesterday, I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. I barely even came over to the computer for a minute. Man, live streaming in VR on my feet for several hours. Don't think we're going to be doing that as on a regular basis. I got to figure out, I love Minecraft in VR, though. It's really the only way that I want to play it. At least on the live streams. I do play in non-VR mode in Minecraft between live streams, because it's the easiest way to just jump in there and have some fun. But for the sake of the live streams, I just don't feel like it's... Like, I don't even want to watch it if it's not in VR. And I'm still trying to hit that 60 frame per second mark, and I think we can next live stream. I think I figured it out. Estimated burn, and it doesn't matter. You didn't even need to get this close, Spawn. Go ahead and burn it slow. Okay, how much delta V are we going to use? We're going to use 28 meters per second of delta V on this burn. Just focus on getting that right. Spawn, watch that. Ooh, here's my real periapse coming in, my true periapse. You guys can pay attention to that while I stare at the ball and slow my burn down ever so. Just follow it perfectly, Pawn. Do not miss this, and be ready to hit X when you're there. Hit! With 0.1 meter per second deviation, we've hit it. What's my periapse, and how is it looking equatorial? Your periapse is going to hit a little bit. That's fine. We can N and back it off to 6,000, which is safe. And then RCS off. Find me... get me on this triangle here, and then I think if I N, okay, periapse is no longer safe, but you've got it nice and equatorial now. And then find me the prograde, which is going to be very much near the sky. In fact, get dead on your prograde, and then just give me a tiny little puff from the puffs, the monoprop engines in the rear. Okay, I needed to be going the opposite direction. Give me a little puff from that engine up front to a 9.3. That's definitely safe, and we are very equatorial at min-miss on that approach. F5 from here, Pawn. You have 1,000 meters per second delta V left in this craft in the Pilgrim Mark 1. Beautiful friggin' craft. Beautiful friggin' craft that also has the ability to grab the atmosphere of Kerbin and drag it with you from the Scatterer mod. Always screwing up on me. Back to the tracking station. We'll put the atmosphere of Kerbin back on Kerbin, then we'll come back out, and we will land this thing on Minmus. Welcome to the stream, all the people. Where the hell are all these people coming from? Whole bunch of King Crab meat, and Lookie42, and Crawdzilla, and Regil... I finally made a stream, says Zavy Downs. Welcome to the stream, Zavy. To be fair, I have trust issues with the maneuver nodes. As a result, I make MechJeb do all my maneuvers, as he knows what he's doing, says a Soviet tank. I should look into installing MechJeb. I think I installed MechJeb once just because I wanted people to see that I was using MechJeb for a video. One of my old Kerbal videos, but I didn't actually know how to use it and want to learn how to use it or anything, so it was just there because I wanted it in there. I think it was part of the plot that I was setting up. Like, MechJeb had taken it. MechJeb was basically Skynet. You know, it's a familiar plot, but 5 years ago it was less familiar when I was thinking about it. It was a good idea, and then I just never got around to it, did I? And then I decided we're going to go for a time travel plot instead, and then I abandoned the series because it was killing me, the amount of work that was going into that. Oh, the old times. The good old times. RCS off, and take me back. Can I focus Minmus again, please? Take me out to Minmus, and take me to this periapse, if you can warp straight to there. And you can. Okay. Goodbye, Kerbin. Minmus should be coming up from our right at some point here. 2 days. 1 days. No days. There's a little snot bubble rushing up on us. Hello. There's Minmus. See, if you spit at just the right time, you're pretty sure that it was you who made Minmus. Periapse right there. Can you give me an estimated burn time real quick? Add maneuver on these puff engines. Puff engines are actually quite powerful and very efficient. It's not giving me an estimated burn because we popped in and out of the tracking station. I don't need it anyway. I'm going to burn at T-minus 8. But I'm going to do it on my retrograde because I think that's a good idea. Oh, yeah. Did you just see that? Did you see what I saw? Oh, I forgot to burn. Did you see what I saw? I'll show you that in a minute. Let me finish off this orbital erection insertion. What did I call it? An injection erection insertion. Burn us down to wherever it is we're supposed to be. Stop. 7.9, still safe, and a 9.5. Close enough. Very equatorial. Not exactly, but very equatorial. Pawn, run pawn MJ is for losers. Install chaos. So MechJab is for losers. Install Kerbal operating system. This is Jam 764. Will that can I get Linux in here or something? Is Windows the problem? Is that why, half these systems crumble under the slightest evaluation? Under the slightest designer's eye? Pawn, Houston just called. He had to go on shift at McDonald's and Burger King at the same time, says L. Jones. No, you can't. They wouldn't allow that. That's like, that would be as though, those are two competing agencies. So that would be like if Verizon and AT&T and maybe Comcast were all suddenly in cahoots over something. Those are competitors. That would be as if Comcast and AT&T were to like split up the different sections of the country in America to say that we'll take Manhattan and you guys can have LA and we won't compete in these incredibly viable markets together. We won't compete against each other. That can't happen in capitalism. That can't happen in America where we have laws. We're antitrust. You're not allowed to hold monopoly. You can't choose not to compete with each other. That couldn't happen. So there's no way he's working at Burger King and McDonald's at once. Cause that would be not... We wouldn't have any government or politicians that represent us, or law that meant anything. So he can't be doing that. That would mean capitalism failed as a concept. So he can't be doing that. They have to compete with you now. They, of course, it's in their best interest to compete for the market. So here we are at Minas. I only really use MechJeb for pretty much everything. I swear I manually press something at least once every 3 missions. That's a Soviet tech. Chaos is so good. Holy poop. Bopples. It says phony. Okay, what's KOS? Is it Kerbal Operating System? Is that what it stands for? Kerbal Operating Theater System. Digger du Autiste. Yes, I'm autistic. I'm an autistic savant. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I know that we need to land, and let's show our boys up at Mimas. Let's show the boys at the space base, which is over here, isn't it? Yeah. Let's show them our brand new craft. They're gonna love it. Set you as the target, right? That is where we land. Oh, do you see what I see? I forgot. So, the craft has this... Okay, so this is Airplane Parts Plus. And I've never really bothered to turn the headlights on because you gotta right-click them. They don't come on with the regular lights. If I turn the lights on and off, they don't do anything. It's, attached to there. So apparently the way that they hacked in the light in Airplane Parts Plus, or whatever the name of this mod is, Airplane Plus, when you turn the lights on, they're really powerful, is the thing. Like, really powerful. Like, do you see the headlight lighting up the surface of Minmus down there a little bit as I sweep past it? No, me neither. Me neither. But I definitely see it from the map mode. Occasionally. Where the hell did it go? Maybe because I turned the lights on and off and I got it to work? Oh, because there we go. You turn the lights on now. Ah ha 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 ha. So when the lights are on and the lights are on, is that the trick? I'm not seeing it now. Did I fix it by turning the lights on and off? Nope. There it is. There it is. So let's test this premise. We're bug testing now for Airplane Parts Plus. If I turn the light off... No, it's still there. It's just you gotta get the right angle. Okay. And maybe it has to do with scatterer... Scatterer adds a lighting engine, does it? I don't know. For headlights and whatnot. But yeah, it's a very, very powerful headlight on this, is what I'm saying. Incredibly powerful. Look at that. Super duper, ultra powerful. Please launch me in the Kerbal Cannon, says the Thacker. I might be able to arrange that for you, although we need a pilot home. We could take one home from Minmus. We could leave you up here, and then we'll grab somebody from the Minmus base. It's Kerbal operating system. Main thing is you actually have to program it yourself with real coding, so it's a lot harder, but also more versatility and cooler, if you ask me, says Jam764. I liked the idea. I remember there's a mod out there for Kerbal, and I love the idea of this. I'm sure this is like what KOS is really about. But I remember a mod where it was really just parts. It wasn't like coding, but it was snap a part on, and then you tell the part what to do at a certain height, that kind of a thing. You'd have little ticks and whatnot. I really liked the idea of that mod for building craft that fly themselves to orbit by saying, you know, at this speed or at this height, bank down to this degree. And I'm sure that's what KOS is really about. But I remember they had it like... Maybe it wasn't even that. Maybe it wasn't parts-based. Maybe it was more like fuel tank controls. So you could build it in such a way that you could cause a decoupler to fire when the fuel was empty on a certain stage, and then you wouldn't have to stage anything, and you could build something that would just fly to orbit on its own. Without, you know, you can do that in Kerbal regular, too. Tier 100, small parts, says Jermason. What small parts? Runpoint, yes, it's Kerbal operating system. The main thing, oh yeah, Tier 100, basically an in-game probe programming system includes a external telnet connection too, if you like to do it the old-fashioned way. Oh my god, really? You can log in over telnet and hack it, basically? I used telnet back in the day before the internet turned into just a swamp and quagmire that it is today, of commercialism and, non-competing entities that just managed to get it legal for them to blackmail people. It's now legal. It's lawful for them to blackmail and hold monopolies in America. Capitalism, ladies and gentlemen. I used to, back before the internet was heavily regulated and the FBI knew what was going on, I used Telnet in order to log into the FBI's mail servers and the White House's mail servers. And well, no, I didn't log into their mail servers, first off, because that would be an admission that would get me in jail. No, I actually didn't. I just logged into any given mail server over Telnet and told it that I was mailing from, you know, me at FBI.gov and me at whitehouse.gov, and I would send emails to my buddies who was also into, you know, kitty script hacking at that time. So I'd send him like messages from the FBI saying, quit doing what you're doing. Stuff like that. It's very easy because unsecured email servers were just everywhere back in the day. You just log in and it would ask you, who's the message from? And you'd tell it. Who's it to? And you'd tell it. What's the body and what's the subject? Okay, hit the button and it's away. I don't need to confirm that it's coming from the place you tell me it's coming from. You could send mail to anyone from anyone. And, man, you know, if the me who had the mind today were back then when you could do that easy, boy, you could do some good in this world, couldn't you? Send important people emails from other important people that they would have no idea that it didn't come from those important people. Unsecured email server, that's all it takes. So who cheered? Jermacian, cheer 100. The mod is called Small Parts, says Jermacian. Oh, really? That or engine shutdowns, says D. The one where you can attach parts and kind of build like a programming module. Cool, Jermacian. Thank you for the 200 friggin' cheers to tell me that. Where are we going? Spawn, you've been talking about all the things. Yes, I have. This is spinning this way, right? So if I go around once, if we loop around the planet once, then we'll be able to come down at our site when it's lit up. It'll be a nice morning there right now, but we're not, you know, I need more coffee if we're gonna come down in the morning. Wait until the sun's come up at least. Here in Michigan, in Detroit, the sun is down basically now, which by our clocks is a little bit after 5 p.m. Oh, daylight savings time. I mean, also it's just, rotation of planet at angle around sun. I get that. But it's also a little bit, come on with your daylight savings time. What the hell is the origin of this system? I swear someone told me once. I swear I learned what it was at some point in time. I don't recall anymore what it was. I know everybody thinks it's like the farming system, but I remember part of the explanation that I got explained that no, it actually wasn't part of the farming system. What the hell is the real explanation for that? Jam764 says, Runpon, yeah, I'm actually modding KOS to work with my HP 792 terminal monitor and Putty Telnet virtual client over a serial port connection. Sadly, the HPH terminal auto-disconnects, but Putty works just fine on its own. But MechJeb isn't too bad for simplicity's sake. I still use it for deploying multiple global position satellites when I'm lazy. I see. Is anyone here Welsh? Says Killer X Killer 33. Anyone? 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 When's the sun go down where you are? But the Earth is not flat? Says Argilpt. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. It's the plane of the Earth. Okay, I meant to say the plane of the Earth at a tilt. As the sun rotates around it. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Or rather, not around it, but across it, and then because the universe is a donut shape, it just and it ends up back on the other side. That's how it works. It's just maybe it's a plane actually. If the Earth is a plane, then maybe the sun is actually just on a like a flat disc with a circle in the middle of it, and then you've got the moon and the sun, and they just rotate around on the plane like that, huh? And so we look up from our plane to that rounded plane, donut kind of shaped plane, and then it just, yeah, there you go. I figured it out. Hashtag Flat Earth Research. Tier 5, Google says daylight savings was an invention of Ben Franklin. Screw that dude. We're not in daylight savings. How the hell did it wrap all the way around the world? You know? So many different countries that abide various daylight saving times concepts. Why would you do that to yourselves and to others? Hey y'all, trying to get to Duna for the first time using Transfer Window Planner. Do you know what ejection angle 60.94 degrees to prograde means? No, I don't. Too complicated for me, and I probably should play the game at some point. So we're coming up on what it says is a descending node. I don't know, should I burn from there? It seems to me like the earlier that I burn, the less I'll have to burn in order to correct our inclination, which means that you should have been doing this a while ago. Go to one of your triangles, turn your RCS on, and then if I burn in the opposite direction, you're going in the wrong direction. Okay, so we want to burn prograde using the puffs. I'll burn from back here. And screw you, descending node. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. Tiny, tiny little amount of delta V that I'm using out here at Minmus in order to get where we're going. We got 875 meters per second of delta V remaining in the tanks. Pushing the periaps up a little bit, aren't I? No, you're fine, Pawn. You're fine. Get me on course for going to our space, to our Minmus base, which is on a ridge right there. Yeah, I love it. Alright, this is it. Final descent, F5. Get on your retrograde, RCS off. Give me the view that I like, which is going to be looking down at the planet as it's below us. And then, yep, I don't know. We'll just go for it. 158 meters per second of speed around Minmus that we need to lose as we do this. I have to admit, I still have like no operating procedure for landings other than just eyeballing them. Like, I don't know. I just go by feeling, and it doesn't. Sometimes it works out for me really good, and sometimes it doesn't. I have never come across a method empirically, myself through testing that actually worked. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to do for map mode, I'm going to burn retrograde, okay? And I'm going to get us a trajectory that shows us landing a little bit past that plateau that we've got our space station built on. So from here, we're going to just... There's the end of the ball. You guys can't see it yet. I swear it's coming. It's any time now. Where are you? Where are you? It's over here, just past the question mark. Now you can see it. So there it is. It's one way to do it. I just don't have a method. But as long as it's telling me that's where I'm coming down, then yeah, burn more retrograde. Burn more retrograde, and have me come down over there, and then I will slow my descent when we get there. As we're coming down at it. So there. We're going just a bit past it, so that I've got the kind of speed that I'll need in order to get me where I'm trying to go as we're going there. Give me stability assist, and I will burn a bit that way in order to push our trajectory more onto, the line. In fact, can I do this? You should be able to do this with the with your RCS, right? Like that. Yeah, that's a better way to do that. Okay, now we're very dead on the line. We're definitely coming at it now. I'm going to F5 from here. Difference of speed now, 92 meters per second at the target. We're coming down just a little bit past him, which gives me, what I need for my suicide burn, I guess. Daylight savings doesn't work. I was up at 5:15 a.m. the other day, and it was super bright, says Alex the Ninja. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's stupid, and I hate it. And it's stupid. I'm going to go to my retrograde now. As we start to come over the top of this stuff, I'm going to burn hard, I guess. Are you? I mean, why not? In fact, give me stability assist, because I'm going to want to burn over here a bit. Burn hard and fast. And there we go. Huh? Yeah, there you go, Pawn. Okay, now burn like this, because we're still moving in that direction. Give me just going down. You know what I mean. We have basically all vertical speed now. Can I get you, using my monoprop, to come back over here a little bit? Yeah, that works good. Deploy the landing gear. Landing gear away. Okay, we're coming down right in the middle of the space, 25 meters per second. We gotta hit it less than 12 on. Right. Oops, 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 oops. Be burning like that. Okay. Let us come down a little bit faster now. A little bit faster. And then... Nice, gentle touchdown on the surface of Minmus. And engines off. RCS off. SAS off. Beautiful, Paul. That is one way to land. 650 meters per second Delta V left in this little thing. Parked her right up at our Minmus space. I am the Ronin. Paul. Ah, I'm back, says the Noose Lord. Good. Because it's time for us to go to a live stream break. It's about time for a live stream. That was perfect, says L. Jones. You think so? See, I never know, I just don't feel like I'm getting any closer to understanding landings, how to do it with the least amount of Delta V. And I guess the idea would be, if you're doing a landing with the least amount of Delta V possible, then you're doing it incredibly dangerously, and you probably shouldn't be doing it. Right? The first people landing on the friggin' moon probably did not, that first mission, come in at suicide burden speeds and then just try and set it down immediately. Right? They got down, lowered their speed, they were moving along, and then down, for safety's sake. So, I guess, that works the way that I just did it. I've done it the other way, where you try and come in with just above the surface of where you're landing, so you're just the surface is right underneath you, you're just whipping past it, and then you burn, and then, I don't know, I still don't feel like I've got a method. Was that the method? Did I work? GG on Ice Cream Planet. Thank you. Guilt. You trolls, says a Noose Lord. Who's the troll here? Oh, because you just got back and I'm gonna go to break. I get you. We're on the surface of Minmus. Turn my my lights off, because otherwise we'll be blinding God. I showed you how the headlight lights up the surface of the planet for some reason. F5 from the surface. We have a mission here to take some science, and a Thacker wants to be fired out of the Kerbal cannon over there. So I think I can answer those requests, but I'm gonna have to do them after the live stream break. After the live, our guilt is now following. How should I say that? R-G-I-L-P-T. R-G-I-L-P-T. Guilt. I like our guilt. Our guilt. I like that. Do you like that? Am I a dick? Quit being a dick. Whatever you needed to do. We're going to take a 7-minute break, and when we come back from the 7-minute live stream break, we will take the science, and we will fire a Kerbal out of a cannon on Minmus because he wants it. I did, don't hold me accountable in the International Tribunal. He asked for it, volunteers. RG, says Argilpt. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I like the Argilpt. It's such a kind of a word, I like words that are just like in your face. Argilpt. So we'll be back in 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. I am the Ronin Pawn, and this is about to get exciting. How exciting? Is the name of the song by Revolution Void. 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Pawn, not out. Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronin Pawn live stream on twitch.tv/Ronin Pawn. Lord Crawdad is done peeing, or I am, I don't know, but we've all had our nice pee break. We're all back. I should probably up the timer there, shouldn't I? 7 minutes, and I'm back in what, 7.5 on average? You guys can deal. I had to get my coffee, and there are two little kitties, two little alley cats playing outside in front of my house. And it's just, I had to stand and watch them for a bit. It's just so cute, and it's so, to see two, alley cats, two outdoor cats out in the snow, and they're playing, and, the one's runs around a snowbank and then does a little thing where he jiggles his little butt and digs his back claws into the snow like he's gonna get more traction. And then, and jumps over and around and goes at his brother there, and they're playing. Oh, it was so cute. It was so cute. Welcome to the stream, Lord Crawdad. You were, and Maximus, twice. You get 2 double points for being as awesome as you are. What's that? Oh, crap. Greg's song is coming on. I can't. Ha! I gotta stop the music. We gotta keep running this mission on the surface of amendments. I mean, any way I can.
Any way we can.
I gotta stick it to the man.
To the man. We're gonna be all scot-free. Any way we can. We'll stick it to the man.
We'll write some numbers down and move fake cash around. 'Cause I know I can't live in a world with an FCC that is run by telecom agencies. Those are lyrics, aren't they? No. Your capitalism has failed you. Somebody said so. Oh crap, please don't get me shit. Somebody said something about Stalin and capitalism. Your capitalist world has failed you and resulted in a corporatocracy that we told you it would. Come back to socialism, which results in, governments that are just as bad as the corporations. There's a middle ground, okay? Regulation on capitalism, the right way to prevent corporatocracy and to protect the consumer. Doesn't have to be all or the other. We just have to be smart enough to not get caught up in our own boxes of terminology and recognize, yeah, capitalism has failed us. It has failed us. Unregulated capitalism or regulated, it has resulted naturally in the situation we have now, which is not good for consumers and not good for small businesses and not good for emerging technologies. Because it's centralized, and the people who have power and keep the power. And you don't get as much deviation. You don't get as many evolutions from the same single cell because all the cells are friggin' the same. Because of the monopolization that your capitalism has failed you. I think it's missing a ceiling, and yes, there's no ceiling to what? Welcome back to Kerbal. Okay, so we landed on the moon. No, on a moon. Minmus. It's a moon. I can technically say that. Angela's 2141 cheering 5. The problem is every system is doomed to failure as it's run by man, and man is flawed. Yes, we'll work on man, but that's going to take a long time. The smarter of the men need to regulate the other men, okay? The wiser, not the smarter. Smartness is not necessary. Wisdom is. So we definitely need some of the wise regulating the unwise, and the selfish, and the bastards, and the mother. Comcast, AT&T, and Verizon. There are other cell phone providers out there. If you're still being provided through one of those 3, come on. I know we can't, give up internet and cable and phones. So, they got us screwed in that. But there are other providers whom you can go with for certain of those services. I use Republic Wireless. Available in the United States anyway. So, not going to help you overseas. But available in the United States, Republic Wireless. Top rated for customer service, one of the top rated in the top 5 for customer service, and they've come up with a way to give you cell phone coverage using internet using Wi-Fi, where, it works when you're not on the Wi-Fi, but when you're in range of a Wi-Fi signal, they save themselves money by doing the call over the internet, and then it auto, hands off when you leave the Wi-Fi. It all works. But they save themselves money by doing that, and therefore can charge you less. That is competition in the marketplace. That's how it's supposed to work. So move over to Republic Wireless. Move over to... Don't be Verizon at this point in the world, man. Come on. We got to do something against them. If you're not going to start throwing Molotov cocktails, you can at least choose a different cell phone provider. That's all I'm saying. You talking net neutrality or just normal utilities, says Groggles? All of it. It's all screwed up, except for my little craft here. My little craft. This thing is beautiful. Just got us to Minmus. One shot straight from the surface. We're sitting here with 650 meters per second at Delta V, and I need somebody to get out, okay? Who is this? Tsupef, the Revisiting, is out, and he needs to get it. Don't push the ship over, if you don't mind. Will you just, and then step back. We needed some science from the surface of Minmus in order to complete a mission that we have up here, which is just grab some science from the surface of Minmus. We didn't have to come up here with this craft. We've got people on the surface. We could have done this a lot easier, but I wanted to fly my brand new Pilgrim, so we did it. Where's that mission? Where is it? Science data from the surface of Minmus. Transmit or recover. We could have transmitted it, we'd be done. But I wanted to. So take a surface sample that we probably already have. Do we not already have it? Because we processed some of those results up here and turned them into... There's so much science that we probably don't have that we're supposed to have. Okay, we got the EVA report, surface sample, yeah. I haven't looked at X Science in so long. We've been running missions just for ourselves, just because it's fun. You can get back in, Tsupef. You can come home, because you didn't say that you wanted to stay up here or be fired out of a Kerbal cannon. Certain other people who were on board this flight did, by the way of Thakra. No, don't climb, just board it. Board it, grab it, and board it. There you go. Thakra wanted to be fired out of a Kerbal cannon. And that's his choice, not mine. I didn't say it. Push off! Yeah! There you go. And then right yourself. Look at that. Look at that. 2-point landing. Because he's got 2 legs. So that's a thing. I get a happy life in the UK. All the cables are owned by a government-sponsored company, and they rent it to the ISPs. They don't use the lines, so they can't claim anything about needing to pay for bigger tubes. They don't maintain them, Groggles. See, now there's a system. It sounds like a mixture between socialism and capitalism, where, it makes sense. As though someone planned out that there's going to be a lot of humans on this planet, and we're all going to be doing different, we don't want to be wasting resources ridiculously, and we don't want individuals to claim more power over all of the others than they should. That sort of... It sounds like somebody maybe thought about that, as opposed to just saying, it's wrong to regulate corporate capitalist scumbags. That's socialism, and socialism is a bad word. We don't do it. It sounds like somebody actually thought about yours. Your system there. They thought about the idea of maybe we don't want for-profit agencies being able to advertise directly to our children things that are unhealthy and bad for them. Maybe we don't want, medications, Big Pharma being able to advertise directly to consumers, because consumers should not be making the decisions about their medications. The doctors should be. Maybe we should limit how much doctors' income is so that it doesn't get to the point where people can't afford to go to the doctor unless they're doing really well in their life. Maybe we should socialize medicine just overall so that everyone can have access to the system when they need it. Sounds like somebody thought about it and did some social planning in your country. Damn. We could use some of that around here. But what do you think of my situation? I live in a certain part of Yorkshire in England where only one telecom company actually provides internet to my area. Consequently, we get charged a crap ton, and everyone is salty, yet we can't do nothing about it because no other companies can be bothered to sell us internet, says the Soviet tank. I'd say you'd be comfortable in America. We have multiple companies that do not compete with one another, and so we get the same thing. Crappier service than most of the world gets for far more than most of the world pays for. Because there's a bunch of different agencies that claim to be competing that aren't. AT&T, Comcast, There's a company near me called WoW. We do have some smaller competitors, but smaller means like tens of millions, hundreds of millions of accounts and stuff like that. But yeah, you're not getting any of the services at a reasonable rate. It doesn't happen. Look, a Thakra's standing on a Kerbal cannon. Well, I'm talking about the failings of society, the ills of the world. Does anyone want to see a Thakra fired? Or, you know what? Income of doctors isn't the problem. It's the cost of education to become a doctor. Lack of supply of doctors isn't meeting the rising demand for doctors, leading to higher prices. There are a lot of problems in medicine, and you're damn right that it starts at education and the cost of education, and they're needing to be able to pay that ridiculous cost back. It also has a lot to do with their overhead, the insurance agencies, because doctors these days spend more time filling out insurance paperwork and proving to bureaucrats sitting at a table that their diagnosis of the patient who's directly in front of them is valid. Like, someone who's on the other side of the country gets to sign off on, or else they won't pay for it, and then the doctor can't provide the person with the service. There's a lot of things messed up with our industry there. Doctors' salaries does figure into it. My great-grandfather, rather, was a doctor back in the day where he would travel to your house because that's where you were ill. You know, he didn't expect you to come to him. He would travel to your house, and if you didn't have money to pay him, you know, he'd take a chicken. And it's a different world now. We don't barter in chickens and stuff like that, but that used to be like doctors were in it because, you know, they could and they wanted to, as opposed to, you know, good career, lots of money in that. What was the cheer? I'm sorry, cheer 5. Okay, Pawn, it appears my building near you is causing some worry, so I'll just ask direct. Do you mind that I build next to you? Do you have any concerns about what I build, says Angelus. You can build whatever you want, Angelus. If you block my view, I do reserve the right to TNT the crap out of you. Really? What about the land claim system? You gotta do whatever you're gonna do, and then, you know, if you're gonna make a neighbor angry, you're gonna have to deal with an angry neighbor. But do you, okay, and just try and be considerate. And if you're not considerate enough, you're gonna have to deal with the consequences. That's life. That's all you can do in life, is do you, bro, and then, you know, try and be considerate about it. And if you're not, then the other bros who are doing them are gonna do you too. You're fun. Also, do you have any concerns with how big my claim is? Says Angelus. I didn't expect that I'd be able to mine anywhere around me or anything like that, so you gotta do you, bro. You gotta do you. I live kind of close to Hull. I guess it's a bit rural. Hey ups, Yorkshire, mate. You can get gigabit speeds as residential in Australia. Now it costs you $15 a day? Jesus. Jeebus, that's a lot. I just know that in, like, Asian countries, in Japan, I believe in Korea as well, like, super high-speed internet, they've accepted the idea that it's just, like, our country will be better with this, so you pay what we pay, maybe. I don't know how the system works, I shouldn't make any statements about it, but I know that they get, gigabit is just, like, standard and common. It's just normal. Out here, I'm paying $50 a month. I'm getting a deal right now, actually, but I will be paying like $55 a month or something for 12 down. No, 12 up, 75 down. 75 down, 12 up. That's what I've got. Pawn reserves ultimate judgment, and he won't tell you the rule book. He has learned from the best evil minds in his time. I don't know the rule book. I don't have a rule book. That's what I'm saying. You just gotta, in this world, you gotta do you, and you know, try and be nice about it. Yeah, so you're standing on the Kerbal thing. Where's this? So there's the Pilgrim. There's a Thakra. There's the Pleasure Tower. Here's an easy breezy landing. Here's a piece of crap that we don't know what we're doing. And here's a Kerbal cannon. Now, how do you fire this thing, Pawn? Well, it's been a minute. Are you full? You're not full. So I believe what I do is I transfer in fuel from this tank. We load the shots, is what we do. And in fact, if I do this right, I think I could load up a half shot and save us some resources. That looks pretty even right there. So that's about a half shot, a little bit less than a half shot, and we'll get more shots out of it. So we're loaded up. I turn the SAS on the craft, and then the Thakra, do you want to go that way? Because that's the way you're going, because that's the way we happen to be aimed right now. Athacra, you asked for it. You got it. In 3, 2, 1, fire. There you go. Goodbye, Athacra. You let us know what you find over there. I gotta land this back down without blowing it up. Does pretty good, doesn't it? For being on the surface of Minmus, almost no gravity, and not, like, destroying itself on the way off. Athacra, where are you going to? You gonna explore the hills, are you? Tier 5, 55 a month for 75 down, 12 up. I'm paying 30 for 200 down, 20 up, and that also includes TV and phone. What the F, America, says Noah Craw. I can get, you get better deals with packages. I'm getting just my internet through Comcast because I have to get that through Comcast. I don't want television through Comcast. I don't want anything that I don't want Comcast in my house any more than it has to be. So, yes. I could get, like, it would end up being, they'll give you a deal for 12 months, like $90 for, a lesser internet package than mine. $75.12 I don't think is what, I'm paying a little bit more to get a better internet package. I think you'd be getting more like, what up? 3 or 6? 3 or 6 up, and 25, 50 down, something like that. But so you get that internet package, plus your Comcast, like your basic television that's, if you're watching cable TV, if you're a TV watcher, it won't be enough. They've got it set up so that if you actually do like to watch television, you need to go up to their 300 tier level. Basically, you don't get out of the system without paying $115 a month while you're in the special 12-month period, and then after that 12-month period, you end up paying $135 a month or more to get, like, basic services, home phone and cable, and it's messed the hell up. Who's leaving? I saw somebody say goodnight. Is it RG? RG, Gilpt. Good night. Going, have a good one. Good night, Argelt. Cheer 5 Punk, can I have some more of your meat? It's delicious. You're not... I've got a land claim. You're not stealing out of my chests, are you? Get your hands off my meat. One way or the other. Okay? You're doing 63 meters per second here. You might want to not hit the ground at 60... I mean, you are a Kerbal, Athacra. And that's, pretty good. You're... Uh-oh, SAS on... Boy, the music just ended right with your death, too. You asked for it, Athacra. That was your choice. Not mine. Take me. Yeah, no, you're dead. Is a thing that happened. I noticed. I did notice. No, we're still missioning here. Athacra wanted that. Death is a many splendored thing. Can I please control anything else? Anything. Thanks, Kerbal. Back to the tracking station. We're still on the mission. Okay? Love the sudden stop in music. Me too. I didn't do that. It's just Kerbal made that decision. Now, there is a design choice, let me tell you. Back to the Pilgrim. We need a pilot to take this thing home for us now, and we're going to have to recruit someone from the space station, which is fine. Because we need room in the space station for new visitors. Have to go back to the tracking station when you kaput a ship, says Rune Antilles. Well, that's stupid. And it wasn't a ship, it was a Kerbal. The ship's still here. So we need one pilot. Do we have a pilot aboard the Pleasure Tower? Scientist, pilot. So, Geoges is a pilot. Who else have we got here that could pilot this thing? Not Phoenix. Zorglob is up here as a pilot. A Noose Lord. Jesus, there's a lot of you guys, aren't there? And Gohan 0646. So, a Noose Lord, you've been chatting a bit. Why don't we send you home? Do you mind? Haven't you been saying the whole time somebody's been saying it's getting boring here on the moon? This is the Minmus. It is a moon. Was it a Noose Lord? It was someone. A Noose Lord, you're going to have to fly the ship home for us, because our previous pilot went to a happy farm, where he's going to spend the rest of his days being fed treats, and playing with the other Kerbals on the Kerbal Happy Farm. Treat Happy Kerbal Farm. No, it's so it's completely safe for you to be controlled by me, is what I'm getting at there. Yeah, go ahead, F climb it, and then F grab it, and then B board it. There we go. We're loaded up. We've got the science, right? Right? I should be able to review the data, review the stored data. We got a surface sample, which apparently we hadn't had before. It says we're going to get 130 out of it, and it should be smart enough to know, if I already had it, that it wouldn't give it to me. About 10 points per hour I see now, says Runantilles. What? The, how many points Nobat is giving you? Is that all? I don't know how it works. Welcome to the stream, Magnesium and Zoso14, something so forth. Upon Houston just called that Kerbal had $1 million Kerbal life insurance policy, and he left it to Houston. Oh, good. So I just made $1 million. Because Houston is tied to a desk with a rag stuck in his mouth. Keeps getting worse the longer the live stream goes on, isn't it? We need to go home now. Let's try and do this right. Let's get ourselves in orbit, and then let's leave. So, orbit from Minmus is just head off toward the east is a fine way to go. We'll use SAS to hold ourselves on the line that we're going to leave. That's good. You're a little bit upside down, Anus Lord. I hope you know what you're doing. F5, and in 3, 2, 1, on our way, back to Kerbin. Here we go. -4, negative... I accidentally just popped the drogue. Yeah, okay. I meant to Z, and I spacebarred. It'll happen to the best of us. Have you spent the 1.9 thousand science you had on the bank? Says Runantilles. I haven't. I haven't yet done that. So we need to get back to the Space Center with the this 130 science, and then we'll be ready to spend all that science. In 3, 2, 1, negative, go. There we go, and then immediately just down, 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 down. Don't think we're going to hit any mountains or anything. And then just watch as our periapsis height comes up, and then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Periapsis height is now raising, so is our apwaps. Shoot, I blew our apwaps out. In a way that we didn't need to. Are we going to hit anything on our way out of here? Please, with a view that isn't making me vom. It doesn't look like it. It does. Yeah, we can't warp faster, but I think we got it. I think we have clearance. I hope those are rather close, aren't they? Give me fizz warp then. If you can't, I'll do it. 4 times fizz warp. Yeah, we cleared those. We cleared that hump, didn't we? Jesus. Gear in for maximum aerodynamic efficiency at Minmus. We cleared them. We cleared them. We're good. Went up a little bit higher than I needed to do. And then when are you going to burn pawn? Well, it's going to be somewhere over here, isn't it? Give me a maneuver. And then burn me prograde. We've got way more delta V than we need, so we don't really need to be doing it this way, do we? I think you need to, pawn. And actually, this kind of futzing ends up being really frustrating to me in the long run. Really frustrating to me. So give me lots and lots of DV from there, and then keep the periapsis on screen. Well, damn it, I lost it. There it is. It's up there anyway. It's behind some things. And then just scoot you around and see when the better time to leave is. And it's looking like, ooh, we could hit the moon on our way back, which means now I've lost my curve and periaps. There you go. Leave later, leave later, leave later. You want to leave when you're, in line with the Minmus's retrograde, I guess. Give me more. Okay, so that's a good time to leave. And then just full prograde burn from there. Actually, that didn't work out bad, because I'm near the top of my apwaps when we hit that. Alright. Doesn't take us long to make this burn either, 9 or 10 seconds. Go ahead and warp me up to my next maneuver. In Minmus, considering the tiny gravity well, I just shoot upwards a few thousand meters before burning for orbit because the gravity well is so tiny and the time warp limitation so annoying, says Runantilles. I got a bunch of extra delta V, I should probably just do it that way. But I did it this way. I think this is more proper-ish, except for that my orbit of Minmus didn't look like an orbit. It's fine. It's fine. Get yourself on your prograde, my friend. And then, just get myself a little bit closer to that node too. Node in T-minus 10 with a something second burn. Get ready to fire now. Burn prograde. Yes, sir. And then watch your Kerbin periaps. Oh, damn it, went away. Went away. Where is it? There it is. Keep burning. No, I lost it. Okay, it's there. In the cloud of data, I lost it for a minute. Burn, 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 burn. Ooh, we're coming down, you know, polar. That's good. I'm just reversing it a little bit so that I can have a periaps. We're gonna go, okay, here's a test. I wanted to test this craft. So we're gonna go, I could barely see it because it's a cloud of data. But there it is, 35,000 from Minmus. We're gonna dive hard. Hard, which means F5 from here. We're gonna dive hard into the atmosphere with this little thing from Minmus height. Just to see what it can take. Can it get down there? While carrying 277 meters per second of delta V? Huh? 67 units of monoprop in the tanks? Can it do it without burning up in the atmosphere? That's my question. We're pushing this brand new craft to the edge of viability. Holiday cheer 250? Apparently by cheering this much, everyone in chat gets a gift? Says the unknown killer. Merry Christmas, everybody! You get a gift, and you get a gift, and you get a gift. That joke is old, and Oprah isn't even on television anymore, and hasn't been for like a decade. You should be doing Ellen jokes if you're gonna do that. Ellen jokes. Okay. You ever get those little peanut bags on your airplane? It's just little things. Oh, this is the best peanut. I'm not making fun of Ellen. I love Ellen. That was one of her, like, earliest bits that I ever saw, anyway, on A&E's Evening at the Improv. She was doing, you know, plain jokes. Back when it was kind of just getting started. You know, when everybody was making jokes about the peanuts, the packs of peanuts on planes. She might have started it. I don't think so. But doing, you know, because you're a comedian, so you travel by plane a lot, and that's... You've got jokes about that. Necessarily. You know, it's the experience you're having, so it's a good place to make your funnies. Nobody remembers Ellen DeGeneres standing in front of the brick wall at A&E's Evening at the Improv, except for me and all the other losers. F5 again, pawn, and then take me to... Which way are we? Well, we're leaving that way, pawn. So take me up there. Warp me. Warp me. Warp it. Warp it. I don't want to warp it myself. I'll screw it up. I need you to screw it up, and then I can yell at you, Kerbal. It's Kerbal Rage Program for a reason. Will you give me a... See, now this is why it's Kerbal Rage. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it. Just a little bit. Can I get it? Just stop and... Need to be closer to the spline in order to make it work. Yep. Warp here. Wait, is that the wrong way? Okay, now you're blue. Dabu-dee-dabu-die. Oh, crap. Oh, crap. What happened to the frame rate? In-game frame rate just died. Okay, stop the warp. This is the second time we've had this issue. Last time it was because somebody cheered. Or at least it was timed perfectly with their cheer. This is the second time we've had this issue, and the only way to fix it that we're aware of is quit. Out of the game. Close it. Relaunch it. Damn. Damn. Idea, pawn. You should make a fast car, put it on Minimus, then use the mountains as a ramp and fly back to Kerbin via jump. Says CW the King. I like that. I like that. You think it could be done? I don't think it could be done. I've got a F1 racer. I got a Formula 1 racer that I built in Kerbal. We could hyper-edit that to the surface of Minmus and see what she can do from the ground. You were trying to warp past periapses, Renan. So I noticed that once I got there too. Once I had to switch the view because the damn game won't. You can't snap to a spline until you switch to the other side. Friggin' Kerbal. Jesus. And then this, which has only ever happened to us twice in the 1,005 live streams since we started this career mode. I haven't installed any new mods or anything. It's just life, baby. Pretty sure someone did that on YouTube, says the Soviet Tank to CW the King. Oh, somebody's done everything in Kerbal on YouTube except plant a farm on the moon. Oh, wait, I did. Did it. Except build a barn in KSP. Oh, no, I did that too. I made my own textures and built a barn. Except put Kerbals into, like, jean overalls so they can look like farm. Oh, I did that too. Yeah, man. You've been reduced to this pawn. You're flying a simple mission using a efficient craft to and back from Minmus. That's the best you can do. All those things. The Unknown Killer cheering 250, another holiday cheer. Since this apparently only gave a select few people a gift, let's do it again! Yeah, because you're giving me the gift of $2.50 each time, $5. Gifts for everyone. Thank you, thank you. Where's my cut? Give me my cut. I want my money, my money. The Unknown Killer loves you all. SSD drive is that load speed. What? My game takes about 15 minutes to load, says a Soviet tank. Yeah, this is SSD. I do load it off of an SSD. The Unknown Killer cheering 250 more, and again, more prizes for everyone here on the Road and Paul stream. If you showed up, then it's just a good day to be a Kerbal in a something. Thank you for the money. Man, and in this season too, it's Christmas season, everybody's tight, right? And it's no more gifts! More gifts, and you get peanuts on the plane, and you get peanuts on the plane, and everybody, best peanuts. These are good. Are you gonna eat those? I should go back and look up, because I can't remember what the joke of her thing was, other than that, she did a really good, comic presentation of it on stage with the peanuts, and she was just like with her pinky, she into the little bag, and you really believed she was doing it. Oh, that's all 6 of them. Are you gonna eat those? Are you gonna eat those? I think it was that. It was just those little bags of peanuts they give you really do contain like 12 peanuts in it. How'd you know, Rudentis? I got me gifts. How'd you know, Rudentis? You got them exactly the right gift. Look, the game is working again, and this time I'll be able to warp to the correct thing. I'm not sure. So we're going this way then? Because the brighter side is the side that you're, and then the darker is where you're going, and the brighter is your comet tail. So warp me there, and don't break this time. Okay. It seems to be holding. It seems to be holding. Thank you so much, the Unknown Killer. We're all so thankful for you. Really, I do appreciate the donations that you guys have been giving through this month especially. I mean, December is tight for everybody. And in, marketing and stuff like that, if you're relying on ad revenue, which I'm not, I'm relying on you guys. But, the worst months are, where the hell is Kerbin? Oh, there it is. The worst months are, not December, obviously, but January, February, March. Those March it starts to come back. But January and February are bad because, all the advertisers spent their money. I would imagine that in this industry, when you're relying on, the generosity of strangers, which is a quote, I'm not saying, that the worst months would be like Christmas, would be December because, everybody's tight. And you guys have been very generous with me even through this, so I thank you very much. And more so, I thank you for your donations leading up to this month because, the way that you guys have been subscribing and donating, and more from the Unknown Killer, 250 more holiday cheers. I should stop spending bits on this, but then again, them emotes. Can we get some Ronin Pawns in chat? And thanks for the Unknown Killer's many gifts this holiday season. The generosity of, the donations you guys have made for the past 3 months are what's really going to stay me over this winter. I've got winter taxes to pay on my house, which are, ridiculous. Because I'm in the city of Detroit, and, the fact that they're not providing reasonable services doesn't mean that they don't charge you ridiculous amounts of money for your house taxes. And more from the Unknown Killer. Hopefully you got enough for a coffee or two. I don't know. At least I got myself a new thingy by my name. Did you? The Unknown Killer? You've got a sword, haven't you? The Unknown Killer's got a sword in my chat, but what do you get near your name in the... Because I don't have Twitch chat up, so I'll have to look. I'll have to look later. And here's the pawns coming in, I think, says the Unknown Killer. I don't know how it works. I don't know. Thank you for supporting me, because the past couple of months, the way that Twitch pays me is they pay you 2 months after the income, and so what you guys have been donating is going to come in at exactly the right time. I'm very thankful for you. Very thankful for you. And we didn't even, it's not even Thanksgiving. For this holiday season, I'm most thankful for you. I'm not going to F5 Because our last F5 was before we decided to dive at the surface of Kerbin from Minmus to 35 kilometers, which is going to go pretty fast. I want a radial out, okay? And I want... where's my prograde? I want a view that isn't going to make me vomit, and I didn't get it. I definitely didn't get it. Okay, which direction are we going? We're going this way, so my wings are actually kind of into the wind. I want my stomach, though, is what I want into the wind. So like this, and we're testing just how badass is this craft. How good is it at coming back from like high heights with lots of heat and lots of speed. And I'm doing it this way to try and maximize the drag and slow us down faster, and... okay, that didn't work. Let's go prograde. Okay, but that was just the cockpit. And that's not the important part of the ship. The rest of the ship is holding up very well. So a 35-kilometer dive from Minmus Heights, not entirely sustainable. If you don't care about the people in the cockpit, though, you know, the rest of it seems to be coming down A-okay. I mean, look at that. Just flops around in the breeze. No more explosions. You're off with your timing, game. Or maybe I'm right. You're going to blow up your chute that way. Or the cockpit. If I went down on prograde, I definitely would have blown up the cockpit anyway. So, CW the King cheering 10. This is all I can afford. Oh, I thank you. I thank you for every dime and penny, CW the King. I appreciate it. Hot. Look it! See, if it weren't for that damn cockpit in our way, we would have been fine. If I would have just let it flop in the wind, maybe. No SAS. We still wouldn't. It wouldn't have worked out. The cockpit, if it exploded there, it was going to explode at some point in this descent. Right? Maybe pointing retrograde you'll make it, says Rune Ansley. That's what I was thinking for a second there. But I mean, the only way that any of this made it is because we're flopping around randomly. I mean, everything was on the edge. So it's not trustworthy. Okay, things we're learning today, don't come back from Minmus to 35 kilometers without a heat shield, at least in this craft. Something you would just, in future, you want to bear that in mind. Which is why I did not make an F5. We will F9 back to the point where I set us to a 35 kilometer majigger. We will SAS off, SAS on, find our prograde, which we are already on, and then we will raise this up. Raise this up to, what do you want? So is it going to be on? Yeah, it's going to be on. A little bit safer, but again, I do want a steep dive. I want to know, where I can push her. How about 45 kilometers? 10 kilometers higher. When did that thing explode, Pawn? I'm guessing it wasn't 45 kilometers. Well, we'll find out in just a minute. F5 from here. We'll find out in just a minute. Stay tuned for get me out of Minmus's sphere of influence, if you don't mind. And then when my thing turns blue, I've got a problem. A very, very bad problem. Okay, I'm blue. I'm a little bit afraid that it's going to, F the game up again when I'm doing this. Warp here. Okay. Okay. And then, where's Kerbin? Coming at us real quick. What's the temperature rating on that cockpit? Does anybody know? Is 1,500? 1,000? No, the landing legs were like 1,200. Not these landing legs, but the toothpicks, and I was blowing them off regularly. So I've got to assume, I believe this is a 2,000 rated cockpit. I think it just took a whole bunch of the heat. I think it's got the same heat rating as everything else. 2,000 or 2,200 kelvins. This is bad indeed. Internal heat might blow it up, then no matter the rest of the craft. We'll see. We'll test it. It comes down from LKO just fine. I've just never tried to dive it back from Minmus before, which is why we're having such fun right now. These are all the testing. These are all the testing stages. Warp me up toward, oh crap, there goes the atmosphere. And it's back. And it's back. It's fine. And we're into Atmo. Again, give me the radial out. I know some of you are going to disagree with, well, alright, let's do retrograde this time. We'll do retrograde to start with, because we are still coming into atmosphere, nice and hot. Can I have the view that shows me the planet, like so? We'll go in on a retrograde, okay, so that the cockpit is facing away from the hottest heats, from the hot heat. But I have found that doing a radial out, at least on even on the steep burn, 35k, but from LKO, when you've got, it's about 400 meters per second, or maybe at 200 meters per second less speed, it works. It works pretty good, because by having your wings out and having your belly flat, you create more drag when you're higher in the atmosphere, which means you never get up the kind of speeds against the atmosphere that will cause you to, burn off parts. This is way more heat ticks, way faster than I've had on LKO, but it should be. We're coming back from Midness. So we're just testing, what can we get away with on this craft. And right now we're getting away with quite a lot. Electric charge is very good. Oh my god. The docking port is holding its own. It's holding its own, this heat here. I might want to... What do you want to do, Pawn? Let's see. I mean, I could spin it to win it, but I don't want to spin it to win it. I'm going to leave everything as it is and watch these heat ticks move up slowly. It's good, but we're getting lower and lower as we goer and goer. What's our periaps at? Still 43. We're going back up right now. So we survived the first pass. What happened with our APWAPs? It's at 5.5 million right now. 45 kilometers. Good, like, first pass dive. I could also be burning out the rest of our fuel. I mean, now we've passed our retrograde, so, But I will burn it out. Look at this. APWAPS height of 2.5, 2.4, 2 million on the APWAPS. Lots of Delta V remaining, 1.7, and I could have done that better and done it, before we left the periaps, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Now we're out of fuel, which is actually the way you want to come down, because you don't want to drag that weight back down to the surface of Minmus and then try and set that down on your landing legs. With 2,000 degrees, we have a fighting chance here, but I think 1,500 would have blown up on other re-entries, says Rune Antilles. I'm pretty sure that this one is, rated at 2,000. I don't know. I could be wrong. I just know that this was not a problem for me in the final versions of this craft. So we dropped our APWAPs down to 1.1 million on that go. Can you, fizz warp me back out there, and then over here, warp me. Warp me in your own due time. What did I do? No, you're still doing the warping? Good. You do the warping, and we'll drag the... Oh, crap. Hopefully it'll snap back on its own. I won't have to go to the tracking station. It did. It did. The atmosphere snapped back. Alright, re-entering... Oh, crap. It threw me into the atmosphere way too fast. Oh, thank you for the auto-warp, Kerbal. That put me into 61 kilometers immediately. You know what? Here, radial out. Do it the way that you want to do it now, Pawn. Do it the way that you want to do it this time. And then if you explode, everybody will be able to blame you, which would be great. This is, for maximum drag efficiency, slowing us down immediately. I mean, right now we'd probably be making speed if I were going down either retrograde or prograde, but instead we're scrubbing speed. I don't know. We might have been scrubbing speed at this height anyway. He never read my cheer, says Noah. Did I not? Was there a cheer from Noah that I missed? Was it dinging while I was paying attention to something? I was too focused. Noah? No, I don't see your cheer. I'm sorry, Noah. Just, you don't have to cheer it again, just say it, and I'll read it again. The docking port has 2,000 degrees for sure, and it is flat. So the bow shock... See, this one wasn't even the first thing to light up, the crew cabin. Wasn't even the first one to light up. Welcome to the stream. We're doing things in the usual Ronin Pawn way. Oh, but it does get hot pretty quick. That's the tick for the crew cabin. It is getting hot, but I mean, it's pretty near everything else in terms of heat as we're going down. I think it shares the same 2,000 or 2,200 degree heat rating. And other people have this. Look at how the plasma whips off of the... I love that. Whips off of the antenna there. Look at that. Watch your heat ticks, Pawn. We're fine. They're actually going back down. See? You see the benefit of coming in with a radial out and just putting your whole body in there against it? Also, we're pulling up with the Elevon as we go. Our APWAPS is down to 42 kilometers, but we're going to be going, our prograde is going to be really flat this whole way down because we do have a bunch of vectoring authority. We do have a lot of control authority given to us by these Elevons that are right in the rear. I mean, actually, we might start making height here. Look at how slowly the Apwaps is going down. But we are slowing down at 2,000 and some meters per second. This is definitely coming down alive. Definitely, maybe. Definitely. Why did you... Are you going in the right direction? It's hard to tell. I can't see my prograde without dipping down the ball. And I don't want to dip down the ball right now. I mean, we can also take it down as a bomb. It will go down as a bomb. I've tested that. At least from LKO, I've tested that. But, you know, even if you survive the heat in bomb fashion, it's built to look like a bomb. So it's going to come down and go where it's going pretty quick, is the thing. Look at this. We're just holding at 41.6 kilometers. Because of the way I've... Alright, prograde me. Prograde me. And now are we going to start making speed? No, we're still technically scrubbing speed. We'll start making speed in a moment here. Look at that. How friggin' gorgeous that is. I love this little craft. How's it for you guys in there? The rivets are popping free. Things are starting to leak. Oh, it's a ladies' day out, huh? I didn't realize that you were both women. A Noose Lord and who else is in here? Tisapef the Retisapefening, or whatever we call it. Wait a second. Do you have no heat ticks right now? 0 heat ticks at these speeds. 1,970 some meters per second at 37 kilometers over the surface. Pawn, do you stream any other games than KSP? Says CW the King. Indeed. We have an XCOM run going right now, XCOM Long War, that we're very deep into, and things are getting so hard that I'm starting to lose. But the game's also starting to cheat pretty heavily, so gotta balance that. Also, we just launched a Minecraft server, our community fan server at mc.roninpawn.com. MC is in Minecraft. mc.roninpawn.com. Vanilla in terms of the client. You don't need any mods to log on. Bring on a vanilla client. Boom, you're on Minecraft. We support Vivecraft, which is the virtual reality headset for it. So I play on the server in my headset, and here come the heat ticks again. A lot of customization on the server. Despite the fact that it's vanilla, we got a lot of plugins on our side to make it harder. It's the Noah and Alex the Ninja were going for something similar to Might in terms of difficulty. It's not anywhere near as difficult as Might. It's better because it does what Might did for the game in terms of drawing out the gameplay and making it more fun, making you work a little bit harder for the things that you're used to getting, but it doesn't drag it to a halt the way that Might used to do, where you had to be just a really genius player in order to, you know, get out of, like, in order to get to the Stone Era in the first 7 days of play, which was just barely possible. Barely possible if you were a really good player. Otherwise, it usually took you, like, a month or more in Might. So, I really like this. Is this the mountain range near the KSC? First return? No, it's not. It's a different mountain range. And, you know, we are going toward it. So, stability assist and pull up. Pull up. We can deploy the drogue now. Does everybody see where we're going? Because I barely do. Turn the headlight on, Pawn. Headlight actually kind of works. Turns its cabin lights on, and the headlight, look. No, it didn't? Okay. I'm pulling up. We're good. We're good. We've reduced our speed significantly. Where do we want to go today, Pinky? Same place we go every night, Brain. 145 meters per second if I nose down. I'm going to deploy the drogue when... What's our altitude terrain? 2,500? Drogue is now away. We have a drogue in here. I'm going to turn the SAS off. Okay, and we'll watch the G-forces when the drogue deploys fully. Oh, it did deploy fully. Okay, oops. Well, the G's did not pop anywhere near the red, is the point of that drogue. Is that it slows us down without giving us, you know, whiplash for the Kerbals, because the next parachute pops from the chin. And without SAS on, if I didn't have the drogue, then when we did this little flip, which, you know, barely spiked at, like, you know, 2 or 3 Gs probably, that flip would friggin' kill you, is what would happen there. And as you can see, because of the position of the parachutes, it is an uneven descent. It is an uneven descent. And I would love that to come down, you know, nice and straight and flat, but I just can't do it with this design. There's no There's no evening it out. And I tried with, like, putting the drogue lower to try and give it more authority to pull up from the base. It just doesn't work. So what you do in order to land is, one, you deploy your landing gear. And two, you turn on SAS and say, hold me retrograde. And it does not even manage to hold you perfect retrograde coming down, but that is what we call in the spacefaring industry here at RASA, Ronan Pawns Aeronautic. We call that close enough for government work. That's, and you'll be familiar with that term from other space agencies. Close enough. It's just space travel. Who cares as long as it's safe? In response to what, Rune Antilles, that it flips. As much as I love Elite Dangerous, it does have a very severe issues. I haven't played it in months. Frontier really needs to get their poop together, says a Soviet tank. Well, that's why I really I'm on the verge of buying myself Planet Coaster for $45, but I have to get over like a thing with them because Frontier, I felt ripped off by Elite Dangerous with that. Hello, wait a second, and boom! Impact tolerance of 12 meters per second on those legs, which means at the 9-point-something meters per second we come down when we've got empty tanks on Kerbin, we just managed to survive. Everything just survivable. The perfect craft for the Ronin Pawn. Anyway, for my usages. I love this little thing. Yeah, my thing with Frontier is, the Elite Dangerous was so overpriced for what it turned out to be, that I hate to give Frontier more money, even if they did go on and make a much better game, and probably the game that they wanted to make in the first place. I think Elite Dangerous was kind of a piss take. I think they saw the market and said, you know what, if we got on board for this, because there were, everybody was talking about Star Citizen then, and people were spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on theoretical packs of ships. I heard a report of somebody who spent like $30,000 or $45,000 on like all of the ships that will eventually exist in Star Citizen, and I think they just kind of went, you know what? We got an eye for graphic design. We can make a space game and sell it to people. And they whipped one out that they advertised with way more features than what it really had when you came down to it. So I'm a little bit like, God, I hate to give you guys money. I hate to pay you when I didn't even pay for Elite Dangerous myself. Tanuki Chow had an extra key that she'd bought for a friend, and she gave it to me, and I paid a little bit extra in order to get online in the beta and that kind of thing. But $90 they sold it for. I just hate to give them money. I would recommend the Thar. Wait a second. Read up. Hey Pawn, have you ever thought about streaming Duskers? Says Monster Hunter Banjo. We've done that in the past. Very fun thing to stream, I think. But it's very puzzly. So if you're not into Duskers, then you get bored quick watching my live streams of it. Congratulations to Noose Lord and Tsapef, the Revisited. Kerbin, you guys brought back the science, which means we completed the Minmus contract to bring science back from Minmus, which we could have completed without even launching a ship because we got guys up there and they could have just transmitted it. But I wanted to take my new craft out for a spin, and we learned that this craft can return from Minmus heights 3,400 meters per second or whatever it slams into the atmosphere with a 45k descent, one wrap around only. Maybe if you did 40, you could get it down in one. But we're not going to test that. Not today, anyway. That was good. Beautiful. And we bring back, the whole friggin' craft. These craft are going to be parked all over my space station. I love them so much. Thargoid War is cool and all, but it's still not fun. The grind is horrendous and feels like a free-to-play game. I don't know what that is about. It still nosedive more than it should on re-entry. I'd get rid of the tail planes and the drogues, says Rune Antilles. No. One, I've done a lot of testing, and I like those two. You can download it and do that, though, Rune Antilles. If you want to get this craft, I am totally going to post this. I might go ahead and post this at Kerbal X. Or X. What is it? Is it KerbalX.com? I need to start posting some craft. In fact, for the last bit of the live stream here, what I think I'd like to do is go through my favorite craft ever that are in this save file. Because I went through and I organized all of my lists of craft that I've built, and I made all of the ones that I really like into 1.0 versions of them. So maybe we'll just go through and look at all the stuff that I've made in this one that I love. And it's actually kind of sad because they're all in the spaceplane hangar. There's a couple in the VAB, but most of them are spaceplane hangars. They're either my SSTOs or there's something silly that I built in the spaceplane hangar. And then the rockets that I built, it's like, they're just rockets, aren't they? Even with bargain rockets installed. Let's look at some old craft and remind ourselves of how we got to where we are right now, which is 1909 science sitting in our pockets with 3.5 million Kerbucks in our pockets. Let's do that, but let's do that after we take a brief live stream break. And then we'll tinker with my favorite craft. And then, next time I play Kerbal, I will try and have something, more than just making up our own missions. I'd love to do one of Kerbal's missions, but at this point in the game, I feel like Kerbal is kind of like, you don't have exciting, interesting missions anymore. Maybe we should just avoid taking contracts from now on, just do things the way we want to do them. Come up with our own missions. I like the idea of going out and getting an asteroid, but they gave me first like a Class A asteroid mission, which is great because they're the smallest, is what I've been told. And problem is, there weren't any Class A asteroids even spawned in my solar system at the time that they gave me that mission. So it's like, okay, let's go give this a try. Oh, wait, I can't. Thanks, Kerbal. And maybe one has spawned since then, and now there's one up there. But in that time, now we've got a Class C asteroid. The way missions to roll out in Kerbal is, it doesn't keep you going when you're this deep into the game. You got to come up with your own fun. So, potatoes on the moon. Planting potatoes on the moon. Let's have a look at some of my favorite craft when we come back from live stream break. And since I had to cut it off the last time, let's listen to Superbomb's Stick It to the Man. And we'll be back in 7 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Pawn not out.
We can
name might get but I rock. You know why? Cause I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't matter whether I'm cool or not. Just a taste of the word gives me the gut rock. It's not pop, so just stop like a blood clot.
Hello, I am the Ronan Paul, and welcome back to twitch.tv/Ronan Paul live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Paul. We're complaining about software in chat. That'll do. Welcome back. Good lord. I look low in this chair, don't I? There we go. You've been listening to Menage a Quad's Lose the Box.
I'm a poisonous affliction with a fireball addiction. Man, it burns like hell and tastes like heaven. You say bold itching. Now I got you campus itching. This is music for your children. If you've never heard the cue before, you don't know what you're missing. Hey!
Yeah, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, buddy. We just did a little unnecessary trip to Minmus because we're making our own fun in the game. Because what are you gonna do? It's Kerbal. Welcome back, those of you who stuck around for the last portion of the stream here. You interrupted Menage a Quad. Oh, this is hologram. I'm sorry. These beats are sick. Says Jacob Worth. I'm sorry. Here, I'll leave again. I'll put it back on. I'll leave. Science spending, says Rune Antilles. You want to spend some science? Do you? Do you then? Because I know at least we know one direction that we're heading in, and that's mining. That's drilling, isn't it? So for the sake of this, I gotta drop chat so we can actually see what we're buying. You'll be back in just a moment. Don't say anything in the interim, because no one will hear. So we want to head for drilling. Where the hell is drilling? Is it way the hell up here? In places I can't even research because I have to upgrade the facility? Where would drilling be? That's experimental electrics. Ooh. Nuclear rods and whatnot. Is it all the way up here? No, that's aerospace tech. What are you? Fuel systems, heavy rocketry. I don't know. I've never really gotten this far in the tech tree in a career mode, so I don't know where I'm gonna find this stuff. Metal material, that ain't it. Advanced motors, advanced science tech gives us the Convertitron. There's our drilling stuff. It gives us the Drillomatic Junior mining excavator, the Convertitron 125. Are there two different Convertitrons? The 250 and the 125. So this has to be half-size, less powerful version. Cool. Instead of having to drag up the huge one. And similarly, so the Junior and the full size. Okay. I actually did I did Kerbal live stream on KSP TV, like showing everybody these features when they first came out. And this is the drill! And we took a thing and we drilled and whatnot. Issues on that live stream because they had bugs still with like the overheating and things like that going on. But I actually explained this to everybody, and now I'm sitting here going, oh, and they did that? Oh, hey! Radial holding tanks, small holding tanks, all that stuff. And that's over here in Advanced Science Tech. Alright, so we're grabbing that. But in order to grab that, we need to upgrade the R&D center. So for 2.5 million, 1/3 of all my monies, 2/3 of all my monies, rather, I have 1 million left in the banks, but we've upgraded to the best R&D center, the one where you can fly planes under the bridge. Easier, anyway. And now I can go up to Advanced Science Tech, research me that, boom, we got them. It cost us 65,000 to actually buy them when we do, but we got them. What's this stuff? Large holding tank and the narrowband scanner, which will allow you to actually see, you know, what you're gonna go and mine. We need that tech too, don't we? All this tech allows you to drill, but what about the in-orbit satellite stuff that you need for this? The small one is not 100% efficient on the ore-to-fuel conversion, so use more than 1 kilogram of ore to make each kilogram of fuel. That and size are the only differences, says Renantiles. I see. What about, do we already have it? Did we already unlock it and I just haven't used it because, yes, you've got the survey scanner. You haven't used it because, you know, it's not that useful until you start drilling. I mean, you can discover biomes and whatnot, but I install a mod so that I don't have to do the science click by click. It's taking us even longer to get here. Unmanned tech. It's nice to have the Probodyne Octo 2. Fuel cells. Fuel cells, for that goes along with drilling, and the Gigantors. That was another thing that I was going to need for drilling, because it sucks through so much power. You got to have the Gigantors, and it'll give me the retractable solar panels. Yaha, and bigger batteries. Yaha, and thermal control systems. Yaha. Angela's cheering 5 pawn. My Cadillac SSTO has larger converter and large tank and 2 drills in case you want to use it. We're getting to the point where I can start using some of the craft you sent me that I didn't have before. I'm going to grab that as well. We're down to 1,059 science on that. So I could reach all the way out to some experimental tech. That's all I could do, though, if I did that. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Better wheels would be some fun. You know how I like making... Oh, but those are huge, aren't they? You know how I like building in the spaceplane hangar. Heavy landing would give me airplane landing wheels, 10-meter heat shield, holy crap, and some stuff from Airplane Plus, which is some low but large and heavy landing gear, is my guess. Advanced aerodynamics gives me a whole bunch of friggin' props and some more wings and whatnot, and it's not inspiring me. High altitude flight, some more props, and ramp. Oh, the radial intake is worth something to me, as is the giant cargo bays, even though the drag on them is pretty miserable. And Clampetrons, that's a good possibility there. Composites gives me even larger fairings. And structural panels. I think, for the sake of, let's get the hell out of the science thing, research that, and give me this one for the cargo bays and the inline Clampetrons and whatnot. Give me that as well. We're down to 459. I can afford one more here. I get nuclear engines. I've never played with nuclear engines. How do they work? What do they do? What do they run off of, even? What do they burn? I don't know. Liquid fuel. Just liquid fuel? No oxidizer? Propellants? Liquid fuel. I've never worked with nuclear, so I'm sure you're looking at... Really? You don't know about this? And the ISP is up to 800 in a vacuum, burning only liquid fuel. Is that true? Is that right? Am I misunderstanding this? Good lord, that sounds like an incredibly efficient engine. 800 ISP in vacuum. You're not doing enough to fill up your call stack, then. What are you talking about with your programming, your Node.js's? They use only liquid fuel, but 2 times the ISP of the other best engine. Good God, and all you have to do is, like, irradiate the pilot? Done. Done, son. Can I afford this? I am 1 science away from being able to afford that. 1. We need 1 that we don't have. Well, I didn't want that much anyway. There you go. We did the science-y thing. We bought the science. What I wanted to do with the last half of this live stream was I wanted to look at my favorite crafts ever. And maybe we should start in the VAB, because the VAB doesn't have that much. There's not that much that I've built in terms of rockets, and I'm like, ooh, I'm really proud of this. As you may be able to imagine, having based off of the way that I fly. But I have converted a couple of them to things that are pretty damn awesome. In fact, it's really just the Pilgrims that we looked at today. So no need to look at that. And we did use this on the surface, so... yeah, where is it? Where is it? There you are. My Minmus Transit Authority 1.0. I want to upload all of these. I picked them out while I was clearing out my library of old craft, all the Mark II, 3, 4, 9, 52. I got rid of all those. I kept like where we started and where we ended on the ones that were interesting, but this one survived. This is it's a really good little, visual design, and it works okay on the surface of Minmus. It doesn't get you that far. I would have loved for it to like shoot you into near orbit of Minmus. I think you get about 50 meters per second off of this. I don't know, we did it today with a Thacker, but I wasn't paying attention to the meters per second. But my big thing is that it doesn't flip itself over and destroy itself when you shoot it. And the way that I've done the fuel, we're using Bargain Rockets parts here. This is literally a stop sign under you. If I pull that off, it's a stop sign underneath there. But that is our chamber for firing. It's very much like a gun. We load some liquid fuel into there. It's the smallest tank that I've got, which is why I've done it this way. So you can actually load it to just about half or even less and take a shot. And then this is where you store the actual, this is your clip. This is your clip where the ammo is stored, and then it moves into the chamber to fire. I love this little craft. It was a lot of design tinkering with it. I just wish it would have been more efficient. I played with trying to get more boost power out of a Kerbal cannon, and I just couldn't get any more. Like, especially in a design that didn't like flip or destroy itself on Minmus, of all places. Which is the best place to have a cannon, because you're going to get the most out of it. So the Kerbal cannon, the Minmus Transit Authority, by the way, mind of the gap. And the Pilgrim that we just looked at today, including the ultralight model with no fins and no landing legs, that's just for space travel, that one has over 2350-ish meters per second of delta V in it. And it has the launch stage for it too, so when you download it, you'll be able to just take it straight to space. It's Noah Craw, Cheering 5. Angling it to 45 degrees is more efficient, says Noah. I mean, I think we did test that, and I like... but it's a visual design. It looks better like this, We can still, on Minmus, you can lean it up and just have it SAS hold itself there. It's got a giant SAS unit on it. But it looks better as a crazy-looking laser cannon, doesn't it? If it were tilted up, it would be... it wouldn't look as good. It didn't. I'm pretty sure I tinkered with that. So, visual. It's visual as well as anything. In fact, before we leave the VAB, we're looking at stuff. Let's just, let's reminisce a little bit. This was our first craft ever. The Fridge on Rails, Mark 1, where you just test your ability to fly at all. Fridge with an exploded liquid in a canister, and then fins made of wood, barbecue grill attached by a car tire with hefty bags on top for parachutes. That was our first ever craft. I loved when I was looking through some of this. Some of these were just friggin' genius in their ridiculousness. In fact, which one is it? The Moonris Mark IV. Let me show you this. This is beautiful. If you've forgotten, because I had forgotten. Noah Cheering 5. A bus would look better if it were shaped like a hypercar. Wouldn't be able to bus things very well, though. Well, mine can do both. It can lean up to 45, but it also looks good. Okay? If Transformers existed and could be buses and then cars, and you're still sitting there going, how in God's name can you pack the size of that giant robot into, okay, Bumblebee, sure. If you do it, though, if it were possible. This was our first, I think we wanted to take multiple tourists to the moon at once. I think 7 tourists we were trying to take in one craft, so I had a docking port and we linked them up together. Okay, this was what got me. So that was the first one. It looks reasonable, conventional. By the time we got to the end of it, the Moonris Mark IV. I mean, aerodynamics was just not a thing we could do back then. We didn't have nose cones or anything, so yeah, that's not even the most ridiculous. There was another one I was thinking about. It's going to be really tiny in the visual here because in the process of designing a certain thing. I think it's sticking it to Minmus Mark 1. We wanted to go to Minmus. I started out with this, okay? We're gonna go land on Minmus. Conventional bargain rockets craft that lands on plungers. You know, seems pretty reasonable. Relatively speaking, within the pantheon of Ronin Pawnery. By the Mark II, we'd go on a different method with it. And if I recall correctly, this worked fine. It worked great, because it was so friggin' long, it was overstable in the atmosphere, so it didn't flip. If I recall, I might be wrong on that. I think this one worked awesome. Back in my day, we didn't have no damn nose cones, says Jacob Orth. That's right, we had to walk uphill both ways, home and to the Space Center. At the top, 2.5 neat kilometers that we had, and it was snowing every day, all day, and the rain came down with, like tacks. It wouldn't just rain, it would rain like bullets. Hailstorms of bullets from the sky in my day. You're just so spoiled. You people. Groping Minmus's margin. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that was absolutely redonkulous and that I love. Yeah! No. Oh wait, Pawns the Pilgrim. Oh no, that's the autosave. You know what I didn't save in here? I didn't save the... Oh no, I didn't save the hammer because the hammer went up in 2 parts. So it wasn't that awesome when you just look at the craft. Where was it though? The Butterfingers Mark 1. It wasn't called the hammer. What was it? It was the orbital fuel platform. In the Minmus something. Yeah, see? There's nothing special to that. VAB is empty of awesome. The spaceplane hangar is overwrought with awesome. I think. I'm just, I'm reminiscing and having a little bit of... I got to look at them recently and I was smiling the whole way, so I thought I'd bring you along for another smile fest. So, I have considerably more craft that have made it to a Pawns version that will be uploaded somewhere. Starting with, let's say, the Moon Tractor. The Moon Tractor. Very, very proud of the Moon Tractor. For planting potatoes on the moon, you're going to want a tractor, obviously. And this tiny, wee, babby little craft does it all, my friends. Why, it's atmospheric scans, mystery goos, we've got lava lamp science from the thermometers, barometers, we can play our tunes, we know what time it is at all times, because it's right there in front of us, you can't really see anything, for the love of it. Desk lamps for lighting on this thing. You really don't want to tool around the moon in this alone, though, is the thing, because it's got a lot of thrust, all of the friction is coming from these rear wheels. These are just there for stability. They don't really stabilize you on the moon. The SAS does hold you down. It's easier to drive the Moon Tractor when it's got a payload. By the way, moon farming is hard work. Hard, thankless, functionally useless work. Anyway, here's a tractor. You want a load for the Moon Tractor, which is why we have all of this that you bring up with you to the moon in the Moon Tractor version 1.0 CE Convoy Edition for all your moon farming needs. Potatoes not included. You gotta send those up in a different in a different go. It contains a whole bunch of modules that can all be detached and reattached in whatever order you want, and you don't have to take them all with you. And I sent them to the moon in 2 different goes. This is just electricity. Big old bank of batteries up in there. And it generates its own electricity using those. We've got a place to store your science while you're cruising around on the moon and grabbing it all, and you can transmit it directly from the Communitron, or bring it back and transfer it into your moon base. See, we thought of everything. Over here, monoprop that you can take up to the moon, and in the later model, in the final model that went to the moon, this has one in fact 2. It's got 2 linear RCS ports on the bottom of it, and as does the Moon Tractor itself up there, which means when you attach this to that, you can fly a bit on the moon and skip some of those troublesome craters that are getting you blown up ever so much. And then this is completely useless. I just liked the look of it. It's cement pourer. But, you're on the moon, and it has just liquid fuel. So, kind of useless. Unless you just bought yourself some nuclear engines, in which case that's all the fuel you need, right? Right? So now it's got to use. See, I was just forward thinking before I even understood how the nuclear engines were. Very proud of the Moon Tractor, one of my favorites. Here is a thing I find interesting. You don't have a mod sword, you get a mod bot running. What? Do bust things back in my... I support our tractor train overlords, says Bearsuit Lane. There's the tractor in all of its form, but that's for the moon. And sometimes you want to have fun on Minmus. Now on Minmus, it's less important that you be able to carry a load, because it's very lightweight up there. It's more important that you not blow up, because it's real easy to get going too fast on Minmus and then explode. So what you're going to want is our Minmus Roller 1.0. It's called Lithobrake. Keep her under 50 meters per second and you can crash Lithobrake your way to huge Delta V savings. Delta V savings not guaranteed. Huge is an industry term and does not express or imply a value storage unit sold separately. Didn't really work out as well as because it's really hard to get yourself stopped on Minmus, and it's really hard to not go faster than 50 meters per second when you know that you can. And then to stop where you want to stop when you're doing missions, it's because you're lithobraking and you're just bouncing across the surface. But it's a good design anyway for what I was going for. All these landing legs have impact tolerances of 50 meters per second, and we've created a diamond shape where nothing on this craft will explode, including the experiment storage unit. I think we did see this monoprop canister explode once or twice. Including everything on here, nothing will explode as you're bouncing and flopping across the surface of Minmus. Someday I will refine this technique a little bit more, because I think there's a lot to be got out of the idea of making a Minmus vehicle that is all about lithobraking, because you're going to have to make your speed regardless. But if you can stop on Minmus for free, then that's half of the Delta V that you would have spent otherwise to get anywhere. And some of the ideas that were put forward while we were testing this, I think it was Noah actually, but I don't remember, was what about making like just a giant wheel of wheels so that you could like, or maybe it was Kenneth, so that you could like run against yourself as you're trying to slow down, and also so that you could propel yourself without needing to spend fuel. Because you could just tell yourself to rotate using SAS, you're just using the electrical energy as opposed to having fuel. And I like that idea. Anyway, this is cool. So this made it into the 1.0s as well. Angela's 2141 cheering 5. You need to make the Space 19999 Eagle with monoprop only. What's a Space 19999 Eagle? The reference goes right over my head. Monoprop only, did SpaceX do a thing? I don't know what that is. I just pretend to know about space. I believe it's up, but also down, and in between all of our cells. I don't know. It's difficult. I'm moving on. Minmus Roller, Moon Tractor, very proud of those. I am intensely proud of, it's not as though we haven't seen enough of this lately. I'm definitely proud of the Top That 1.0 SSTO. Rune Antilles made a far better version, more efficient in terms of Delta V getting up there. The important part of doing this is that you have to use just one Panther, because we didn't have any better SSTO style engines, so the Panther's got to be it, and then you've got to be able to burn the LFO, and that is a very small craft to make orbit and still have 200-300 meters per second. Rune Antilles did a version that makes it with like 600 to 700 meters per second of Delta V remaining once you get to orbit on it. So it can be improved. Mainly the improvements that Rune Antilles made were drag-based, which means just making it look less fun. I mean, I could rip stuff off of here. I could get rid of this monoprop tank and either put it in a storage container, or I could make it an inline thing like up here, stuff one in. But I like the look of it, and I got all these lights and things that you don't need on there that are extra weight. Yeah. I'm very proud of this because it was my first real SSTO that functions, that works, that's stable on re-entry, all of that stuff, and I did it with the Panthers. I did it with one Panther, so I'm really happy with that. And I did take the time to light it correctly, so that you'll know which side of the craft is which side of the craft when it's coming at you in the darkness of space. The Earth is shaped like a donut, says the Unknown Killer. Pawn, it's an idiot. Everyone knows the Earth is flat. It's a donut. That's right, Unknown Killer. It's a donut, which is why the sun goes and then it appears on the other side. If it were flat, then the sun would just, we'd see it once and it would be gone forever. But because it's a donut shape, it keeps going, right? Or maybe it's a torus. It might be a torus, like, and it wraps in on itself kind of thing. It's one of those. It's definitely not spherical. I know that. We've done the research. We've launched our own ships to almost skyscraper height and found that we cannot observe a curvature to the Earth. So it's all lies. So that's the top of that. We've seen enough of that one. And last but not least, another one we've seen way too much of in recent days. Of course, the dump truck. The dump truck. I love this thing. I absolutely love this thing. Because it's so functional. It gets to orbit carrying all this fuel, not all this fuel, carrying a lot of this fuel. Again, using just the Panthers because it was all that we had to work with. 4 of them. Okay? Look at the way that I've done the LFO engines too, with the thuds up there and they're off the center of lift above, which meant that I needed to have this one right in the crotch of all the liquid fuel engines, a Reliant, in order to give us the TWR that we needed. I love it so much. It gets up to orbit with 600 and some meters per second of delta, no, with 600 units of fuel remaining, I think. Or is it 300 and 600 meters per second? I don't remember. It takes a lot of fuel to orbit considering what it is and that it's using the Panthers and the level of technology that we had available to us when we made it. I'm incredibly proud of this one. Again, took the time to light it appropriately. I absolutely love this craft. This one is going up as well. It may take me a week or two to get around to uploading these things. I'm sorry. When I'm not on the live stream, you think, what, he's got all day and stuff like that. The fatigue gets me. So, anyway. These are my favorite crafts of Kerbal Space Program that we've made since we started this career mode. I'm really, really happy with that. And meanwhile, shoot, as long as we're going and I'm having all these smiles, the Earth is a donut and physics don't exist, says the Unknown Killer. As long as we're having all these smiles, let's look at all of the craft that have the Pawns 1.0 that are going to get uploaded somewhere so that they can exist in perpetuity because I like them so much, which means heading over to our creative mode save as well to look at David, where I believe I have Voltron built out of probes. Well, it's the Unknown Killer. The Earth is a donut and physics don't exist, and I gave away 1,500 bits, so lots of people got gifts. So are we rhyming now? We exist, and the gifts, and over to the spaceplane hangar. I'm pretty sure all of the things that I've made in the creative mode have been in the spaceplane hangar. I'm just a plain kind of a guy. Just a plain, average, sort of a plain dude. Where did we start? Back in the day, in the first days of the days, the Jet Drone 1.0. First challenge that I handed out on Discord, and you guys sent me a bunch of versions doing something similar to this. How many parts is this craft? 14 parts, people. 14 parts, and this thing is a monster. It goes super duper fast. It lands and takes off VTOL style. I just love how threadbare it is. And it's even more impressive when you give it some, like, distance. The tall model, in fact, I mean, they're just so... This one still is only 14 parts, because I just used a taller... Just launch it. Launch it. We're not just going to look at them, let's play with some of them. What blends? Right, 1010. The universe? Does it blend into itself? What blends? A phone, if you stick it in a blender? Wait. Are you selling, like, a new blender? Because it is Christmas, so somebody has to be doing it. Get me into the daylight. Not just morning. Well, yeah, morning, but, not just sunrise. It's still sunrise. SAS on throttle to full. I don't remember how... I think, actually, was it 2/3 throttle to get this off the ground? Watch your TWR as it comes up. 0.8, 0.9, 1.0, and we're lifting, and I can throttle back now. Throttle back. TWR, 1.7. Throttle back a little bit more. 1.4, 1.3, 1.02. There you go, people. My microscopic less than a ton the jet drone. The Unknown Killer cheering 250. Twitch, please, gift for Rai. Did Rai get one? Because apparently it's kind of random. This thing is awesome. Throttle me all the way up using just the little Juno basic engine, overstable, can do whatever the hell you want with it, flies like a friggin' dream, lands like a friggin' dream, and max speeds? What are your max speeds, Pawn? Oh, well, we're about to find out, because I forget. Okay, we're immediately starting to get these effects. Supersonic effects. When do we go supersonic? Show me my Mach. Where is it? It's in this list somewhere. Mach number, 0.95, 0.97, 0.98, 99. We just broke the sound barrier at 348 meters per second, and we're still making speed for the island. And we're making height, which means I get more speed. I lean right down into my prograde. Right down into your prograde, son. What are we at? 400 meters per second coming up on it with a Mach of 1.16. 405 meters per second. And we're not even... Oh, we are losing height now. Oops. I was going to say, and we're not even losing height. No. We're not generating enough lift. Pull up a little bit, get you dead on the horizon. So we're just maintaining our height. The Unknown Killer cheering the crap out of 250 Twitch. You disappoint me. I demand that Rai gets a gift now. I love this system that you came up with, Twitch. This chatterbait cheer model. Damn. Twitch, don't give Rai one. I'll just type in the special code that's going to make sure that Rai doesn't get a gift. So that... Thank you, the Unknown Killer. Thank you for the cheers. And for, giving gifts out to everybody in the community. Looks like we top out at about 420-something, 425. My left ear cup just went out for some reason. Did we literally break the sound barrier? There we go. Okay, we double broke the sound barrier. 427, no, max speed's still going up. We're looking at 430, and that is at sea level. And I'm making height right now, so if I dip down a little bit more, we should be able to get even more speed by not wasting it on making height with lift. 430 meters per second, and it's still going up. Damn, and how much fuel have we got in this thing? Delta V for days, fuel for years. It dipped me down 435. We're still making height, though, so a little bit more. In fact, go to fine controls, Spawn. No, don't go to fine controls. They're hard. Oh, I just scrubbed a bunch of speed. Don't worry, we'll make it again. We'll make it again. We're losing height now, but that's a temporary thing because we're going to start generating the lift the more speed we got. I want to see what the absolute positive ultra max speed of this 14 parts count jet drone is. It just seems so useful and isn't. But it seems so useful. You could send this drone with a little bit of science tacked on it to anywhere on Kerbin in order to get something done. But it never happens in the base game, does it? It's kind of boring to send something on the surface of Kerbin way off using a jet drone just to pick up a little bit of science. Because I wouldn't want to tack much more weight onto it. We'd lose our 446 meters per second that we're pulling right now. Nose down a little bit more, Pawn. A little bit more, and that turn, and the drag associated with it scrubs off some speed, but we're going to push over 446 and still making height. 447, this thing hits 450, no problem. And I'm going to say that's its max speed because I can't be bothered to sit here and watch it. I did just say that it was boring, didn't I? Strap a lawn chair or 3 on it and it could be useful, says Bearsuit Lane. If Kerbal had, different contracts, these are the kinds of things that you make your own fun and you say, what could I possibly do? And, with a more thoughtful setup for their contracts, I think you could do some things. You could encourage people to be silly like this and push the limits of the game and explore ridiculousness. You don't need to, though, because it's an excellent sandbox that allows you to do this thing. Okay, 460 meters per second is what I'm going to call the top speed and say, that's enough for me, right? Top speed, highest speed over land, 461 meters per second. Apparently it could hit 500 if we sat here for another hour and a half. Screw you. Screw you, take me back to the space plane hangar, because that's just the first of the stuff that I made in creative mode, and it's the least impressive, because it was just a few parts, wasn't it? Ooh, the Drone Mini 1.0. Here's another sub-ton drone. Okay, what was your deal? You're 10 parts. Oh, shoot, it's the 1.0, there's no other versions of the Drone Mini? I didn't do anything, special, I didn't have like an extra... No, I didn't. I'll put this out there, too. I'm sorry. This is just me faffing about now. I'm just like... It's masturbatory, isn't it? Oh, look at the things that I built one day. It's been so long since I've looked at them. Oh, damn. I need to spin the planet to a place so I don't have to spin the planet every time. Give me sunshine, or give you uninstallation, Kerbin. Here we go. Okay, now what was your capabilities? You need the electric charge, which is why you've got the panel, and you're making the electric charge. Good. SAS on. Throttle says, I don't know, full? I don't remember how to fly this thing. Apparently it runs off of liquid fuel and ants? Spiders. The side-mounted ants. Okay. Enough electricity to hold the SAS. How much TWR do you have when I blast you off? 1.07, which means I can throttle back immediately. No, don't throttle back immediately. Get the lift. This one didn't have much of a range to it, but I did love it nonetheless. Get you up some height and some speed, and then throttle her back down so that you can save whatever liquid fuel you got in here. It is draining. No, you're going to need more height. Height, pawn. You want height. Okay. The Q and E are reversed. Remember that, pawn. I won't, but thank you. I keep not doing that. Now throttle down. Now throttle down. We're gonna land this thing on the VAB. Pretty sure I've done this a million times before when I was designing it, but I do enjoy it. The unknown killer cheering 100. Oi, pawn. How much do you get for 2100 bits? Also, I want more emotes, so no gifts for the rest, unfortunately. Oh, I'm sorry. I got no more emotes, right? Thank you for the massive amount of cheers, the unknown killer. Okay, wait. The throttle. No. I hit X and not Z there. I mean, I hit Z, and then I panicked and hit X, and then I hit Z again, and then I panicked again, and That was a good... I liked that craft. That was a good one, too. That was one of my favorites. How much do you get for 2100? That's what you're down to, unknown killer? I want more emotes. We'll see. I asked, Twitch about being partner. They haven't gotten back to me yet. They may never do. They may just be relying on automated systems now, because I think they've automated it, mostly. This one I'm curious about. I don't even remember it. My 1-ton jet drone 1.0. So, here's the jet drone. These are the little, it's basically just an engine with its own wings. That one was my first LFO, just seeing how small I could make a thing that, technically functioned and had a purpose. And then the jet drone must have been, I wanted to make a 1-ton, actual plane-shaped thing. Okay. How many parts are you? 16 parts. I love little things. How do you fly? Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? Show us. I want to know. Mary, are you a hoe? Get the sun up. We gotta do this. That's a good sun there. Okay. SAS on, throttle to full, and fire her up. And I don't know. I mean, I presume that this one can stay in the air a good long time. 50 units of liquid fuel is what I've got in it. I don't recall at what speed you can actually take off with it. Let's have the aerodynamic forces showing for this little plane-style one. It's going to have a lot more drag on it than the others. Can I pull up now? Oh, yes, you can. In fact, I think it might have pulled me up just as I was saying that, and I didn't have to pull up. And how do you fly, though, my friend? How are you at flying with only control authority from the tip? Oh, you're fine at flying with just your tip, aren't you? In fact, I tend to make planes that don't need SAS, right? I wonder if I did that here. SAS off. Because what I like to do... Let's give everyone a chat seat. What I like to do is go into chase mode with the plane, and then, and then fly without the SAS, because it just feels, maximum ultra planey is what it feels like. Take me back over to the Space Center. Check. Did I smack it right? Did I smack it the way it wants to be smacked? Nothing. Wait. It's back. It's back. It's back, and then it did nothing for a second. It's back right now. Oh, my mic is tripping out. What the hell? Is it stable now? Now it sounds again. But I saw it. It did stop, and now it's like really low volume, and I can see it on the thing. Really super low volume. Hang on. Here's what we need to do. We need to pop the phantom power unit. Bastard. It's technically off right now, but it still has power in it, so it's gonna keep leaking power into the microphone. And now the phantom power is back online, and wow, that looks really loud. Am I super... What the hell is going on with my microphone? Is it Kerbal? Is the live stream trying to tell me, hold on, it's time to end the live stream? Because I'm not ready. I'm flying my little plane. This is what happens when you berate the FCC. Maybe it's hashtag Illuminati conspiracy. I'm telling you, it's for real. It's for real. How the friggin' audio? This phantom power unit by InnoGear, the IG-101, I highly don't recommend it. It's only $26, and that's why it's not a good phantom power unit, I'm sure. But it's all that I've got right now. I wasn't even using it. I just had it in storage for a day when I'd need it. And then the phantom power on my little Zoom box that I used to get the microphone into the computer stopped working and started crashing the whole Zoom whenever I turned phantom power on. So I had to break out this little piece of crap. InnoGear IG-101. Not recommended. Also not recommended is coming at the bridge at these high speeds. I don't know, you might have a lot of control authority for the pull-up if you can get through it. If you can get through it, Pawn, you might have, you got a control authority for the pull-up, is what you're looking for there. So you want to go a little bit slower than 100 meters per second. I got it under the bridge, and that was the goal. Crash it, says Alex the Ninja. You're welcome. Woo, says Alex the Ninja. Alright, well that's another craft that I liked. I guess that's what we're doing today, is we're taking all my craft out and destroying them. I didn't intend to do that, but that's what happens. Another little tiny, babby, wee, sub 1 ton drone that flies its in is good. So that's all of the sub 1 ton drones. Let's move on to my Formula 1 racer. We did this. We built this in an hour on a live stream. Less than an hour. We went from just like concept to complete design. And I can't believe that I did that, because usually this kind of thing, I'd sit there and I would tinker and tweak it for, days. But I'd be here for like 4 hours trying to get things the way I wanted them. I can't believe we somehow managed to put this thing together, and it looks great and it works in an hour. And when I say we, I do mean we, because there were comments coming in from chat throughout that. I remember I had this in the opposite direction, and somebody was like, you flip that around, it would look better, and you were damn right. And yeah, this is a beautiful little craft. Sadly, we can't... Wait, it's got a probe on it, doesn't it? Does it have... Let's see. Landing gear, short-range antenna. Didn't I have a probe on here? Am I blind to it? Does it need a Kerbal to steer it? Let's try and launch it. See if it complains. It didn't complain. It should have complained that there's no one in the cockpit, so apparently there is a probe on it, and I can drive it down the runway. Right? Can I? Yes, I can. I don't know where the hell I shoved the probe, but it's in there somewhere. Apparently. Get me to the daytime. And we're gonna take this one out for a drive toward the forest. Toward a forest behind the KSC, unless the forest didn't pop in which case toward the, plains behind the KSC. How do you drive this, Spawn? You just hold forward? Is that how does this work? No, it's a jet. It's a jet, Pawn. Is it? Wait, I'm out of electric charge. Do you not have a panel on you? Okay, so this one needs... This is good. We're learning. Back to the spaceplane hangar. If I'm going to upload these, they've got to work. And this one does have a probe core on it, but it didn't survive the time warp because I never put a photovoltaic panel anywhere on it, apparently. It'll always be parked, upright, well, until you crash it. This looks like as good a place as any to stick one in. Just gotta make sure it's, upright. Yeah, see, that's what I was trying to not do. Give me an angle where I can see what the hell I'm doing. There you go, and then push it back. And then this one is going to get uploaded as well, because this is a great looking design. And I don't recall, I think it makes 110 meters per second on the surface, I think. Save that. It's the 1.0 and relaunch it. Pawn needs to upload these damn crafts, says Jacob Orth. I'm going to. Promise you, maybe. Probably, eventually. What I need to do is I need to take some time and get RoninPawn.com, updated and nice, and then I can have my craft in, on my own website. And maybe the best way to do that, now that I'm thinking about it, electric charge 0. Come on, you've got a panel. You got a panel. The sun just needs to get up because apparently you're in shadow or something. There you go. Maybe the best way to do that is to just upload them to KerbalX.com and then, have a page. Maybe I can even embed KerbalX.com's page on my website so I can format it and make it look nice. That whole website needs a total redesign. Jacob Orth designed it and everything. It's great. I love it. The functions still work, too. You go there and you can see all my stuff and whatnot. It just needs a design because it's been so long. And I never did anything with it. Thank you, Jacob. SAS on, throttle to full. I now have electric, so I can drive forward, but I immediately lose my electric charge. We need to be making electric charge, Pawn. And that'll happen when you turn on that that jet engine you've got there. And then throttle her back. Okay, because you're making a lot of speed. In fact, just turn it off. Turn it off. Holy crap, it does hold to the ground, though, for these turns. Oh, yeah. Okay, you can spin it out, though. I mean, it's an F1 racer. It's supposed to do hairpins at a high speed. I recall this being a very good craft. What is that out there? Okay, we found something to aim for. Everybody see that little white dot? What's that? Okay, that was a Kerbal. I mean, a road bump. Whoa, baby! Alright, so the Kerbal maybe screwed me over a little. I think maybe I need to drive this with fine controls. Maybe that was part of the deal. Also, you need to get high speed in order to get controllability, because it's all about that downforce, isn't it? It's all about that downforce in an F1 racer. I don't see a lot of downforce being made there. But I do see a lot of speed being made here. 110 meters per second, and still getting faster. We are going off to one side, though. With the fine controls, I can maneuver us a little bit over. 117 meters per second. 18, 19, 120. As of now, we broke 120 meters per second with this thing. It does like to, it's uneven terrain, so it's pushing us a little bit left, a little bit right as we go. Oh, there's an ocean coming up. There's an ocean coming up. Yeah, you can actually turn it. It turns better at high speeds. Of course it does, Pawn. It's Formula 1 racer. Oh, okay. And you can... Okay, here's a jump. We found those Duke boys are going to be in some trouble now with the... Law will be coming after them Duke boys. What's still going? Well, nothing anymore. Something was still... I guess the wheels were still going on their own. So, you want to race that one. I believe we took it out on the ice flats to see what its maximum speed was. I don't know what its maximum speed was anymore. You'll have to go and find that video at youtube.com/RoninPawn. I need to upload this stuff to the old stuff to Twitch, too. Yes, absolutely. The edited videos, there's a lot of things that I want to do. Back to the spaceplane hangar. That's going up to Kerbal X or my website or somewhere. Discord server, maybe. Discord.roninpawn.com. If you haven't joined us, there's a lot. There's a huge community there. If you like the weirdness that's going on in chat over there, if that's your thing, you want to head over to discord.roninpawn.com. We have the Orville, which didn't fly. 1.0, 1.0 fail, the 1.1. What the hell was... I gave up on it. I said I was going to come back to it on my own time, and I didn't. But here's the Orville, based on, you know, the Orville, the show on Fox. Thursdays, 9 p.m. I think that might be right. I don't know. The Orville, and it's got let's see, there's a docking bay there, I guess. Never put anything into. All my logos are showing in the right places. It generates way too much drag because I built this before I knew that apparently Mark II parts are horrible for drag. So the whole thing is built out of Mark II parts. But it's got the right look, doesn't it? For the Orville. Problem was, there wasn't a good way to get it into space, as I recall. And to fly it. And we managed to work out, like, a way to get it to fly to, like, 15 kilometers, but that was as good as it got. Let's go ahead and put it out on the pad, and I'll hyper-edit it into space. Of all things to survive on the F1 racer, says Telegram 1, the wheels didn't pop. Of course not. Those are Hankook tires. You know what Hankook is a brand, if you don't know, of tire. Do you know what Hankook means? Korean tires. Koreans are very into that. They're very much about, like, oh, look at the lights I put on. Very much into, like, there's a patriotism there, and nationalism. It's definitely borderline nationalism or outright nationalism for South Koreans especially. I'm not talking about North Korea. I've never been there. Been to South Korea. Their society is very, like, proud to be their society. And it should be. Christ, it's one of the most technologically advanced in the cities, you know, in Seoul. Jesus God, walking around Seoul, it was like living in the era where the Orville might exist. All the doors open, like all of them. And I mean, it's nothing special. We got that over here, you know, doors that just open up like that. But when you go into a 7-Eleven and the doors Star Trek open for you, it's pretty cool. And yes, a 7-Eleven in Seoul, because, you know, it's the reach of the empire of America, its corporate capitalist influence. It's far. The sun never sets on McDonald's. Hyper edit me into space with this thing, because that's the only because it looks good up there. Orbit editor, sure, 100,000 over Kerbin, that's fine. This is where, you know, it's supposed to be, and I never figured out a way to get it there. I think Latra might have figured out I don't know. It's, you know, you could just build it in and wrap it into a fairing and shove it up there, a giant fairing, but I wanted to make it fly, even if it had to be propelled by other things. You know, what we did was attached a bunch of SRBs to the side and wings, and we tried to SSTO it to space, and that was the way that I wanted to do it, apparently. Yeah, go to your prograde. And we got precisely nowhere over the course of like a 6-hour live stream of me trying and figured, come on, it's got to come together sooner or later. Just couldn't get her going. I know that it could be done. It's just when you got a bunch of people watching and you're looking back at chat and people are giving suggestions and you're trying them, I ended up making it worse than we started with. In fact, what are you doing? No. For the beauty shot, you want to be like this. Okay? And the planet in the background, like that. And then actually in the darkness, looks pretty damn cool. In a still that looks pretty cool. It'd probably look even better if you fired up the engine spawn. You think? What engine did I use back there? I used the spikes because they hid well, right? Or no, the darts. They're aero spikes, but they're called darts. Because they hid well and they matched they looked okay. They didn't burn off the tail while I was using them. It can do things. It's mostly just a pretty, though, is what it is. I got it flying in Atmo. Para got it into space. Oh, Paralo got it into space? Ah. Yeah, we did that for 6 hours. By the end, people were like, just put a giant fairing over it and shove it to space with orange tanks. I don't want to do that. What's the point? Yeah, that was a really fun build, though. I was really happy with that, too. I mean, I was looking at the reference material back and forth going, does this look like the Orville? Does this look like the Orville? Trying to get a ship that looks like it rounds out on both the top and the bottom ain't easy. It ain't easy. And there is a control command deck that's a little bit higher than the rest, and then this is a part of the Orville that's very, you know, it's very the Orville. kind of defines it, the fact that it comes down like this and then goes into this flatter area back there. It's a really weird ship design, and I quite enjoy it. And that's why I remade it. Kieran Kerbal. I don't need you up there. You know what? You could leave this up here. Do I already have one up here? Presumably not. The Orville 1.1. Ronin's Wings, SSTO, 3-ton. No, alright, you can stay up there. Take me back to the Space Center. We're getting to the bottom of all of my favorite craft of all time. So the Orville, what else did we make in... Oh, we haven't looked at my metal men yet, have we? My Voltrons, or whatever it was I called them. They weren't Voltrons, what were they? We'll find out in just a minute. What is that thing, said Zorglob. It's me, it's Ronin Pawn. I just have a beard now. A pair of giant liquid fuel boosters on the side should do the trick. Just budget 4.5 kilometers to orbit and use copious amounts of Verners. Yeah, we could have just overpowered it to orbit at any time. I was trying to do it my, stupid ways that I like to do, and I never got it there. But it's a pretty, and that's mainly its function. That's what it was about to start with. So there's the Orville's. 1.0, 1.0 fail, and 1.1. The Ultraman, that's what I called them. This is it. These are the last of them. The Ultraman 1.1 and the Ultraman 1.0. What was the difference, Pawn? That's the modded version. And I made it the 1.0 because it's better. Right? Yes. I like that one better? Yeah. So let's look at the 1.1 first. Because this one's good. This one's good. And the other one's the same thing, but it's got a different engine on it. The Ultraman. Huh? He's got a chest plate telling you that he's Ultraman. See the U and the M? I don't know. It's just, it makes it look good. He's got a chest plate, neck cuff. He's actually kind of into the samurai thing right now, so he's wearing a mask over his face. You can only see his eyes that are made of electric, they're batteries. Each one of these things actually could theoretically come off. I was going to give them all, they do all have probes on them, don't they? Yes, they do. I was going to make it so that I could try and make it so that they could all fly on their own. Maybe they can. I never even bothered with that, because by the time I got here, I was just chuffed with it. I was just having so much fun flying it that was enough. He's wearing a codpiece that dangles down, because that's just what he needs to cover his package, So I modeled him after myself a little bit. It's really hard to land this guy because he's just got these 3 toes, these small hard points for toes on each leg, and the legs, because they're all attached by docking ports, everything around here kind of does a little jiggle and a little jostle. When you have it flying and you rotate, it jostles, and it's nice. It's real nice, and we'll take it out and we'll fly it, but we're not going to fly this one because this is the inferior one, but this is a stock craft, I believe. I'm pretty sure there's nothing on here that isn't stock. Whereas, the better version of it, the Ultraman 1.0 M for it's got a mod in it, right? That one has an even better engine on it that even looks better too. It's this one. It's this one. And this is from the, this is a Cheetah afterburning turbofan. Is that stock? Is that stock? I thought that this was an Airplane Plus part, the Cheetah afterburning turbofan. And I may be wrong, but I don't know. If it's stock, then shoot, I'll just delete the 1.1. Because this is clearly the better one. Noah Crouch, Cheering 5. Rai is bullying me, help. Why would I stop that, Noah? It's just your karma, it's coming back. You bully everyone else, Rai bullies you. It's just, well, it's coming back. What's coming back? Was my audio down or something? Noah bullied me first. Or were you talking about the karma hologram one? It's coming back, see, she knew. Let me guess, if I managed to find said pages, I could easily use some injection to get past. What are you doing? You're still talking about JScript? This is the best version of the Ultraman 1.0. I assume that this is a non-stock engine, because it's super cool. It's very super cool. Where is it? It'll be under engines. Okay. Engines, and then sort by mass, because that's what I'm used to looking at. And then somewhere down here, there she is, the Cheetah afterburning turbofan. The thing is, the cool thing about this one especially is that it only vectors on one angle. Where the whites are on the side here, this doesn't vector left and right. It only vectors up and down. And that's really cool, and it helps a lot with the stability of this craft. It also helps in looking awesome, because now his cod piece also has side pieces for his other cods that he hangs from his tops of his thighs, like he likes to do, like anyone will like to do. It's a very good engine. It has an afterburner mode, so it burns wet, it burns dry. You can save fuel, you can maximize fuel. The Unknown Killer cheering 100. Have 100 bits. Now look the other way and let us play with Noah, says the Unknown Killer. Oh, I was looking the other... just 100 more, and I'll look the other... I was looking the other way to start with. How are they beating you up, Noah? You know you deserve it, right? Whatever you're taking, you've given it first. Doesn't mean it makes you a better person if you don't throw it back at him, though. I was never into being a better person. It seems like such a waste of effort. Let's put this guy on the pad. Take him out there. Oh, this guy's got, control groups. I remember that. I don't remember what the control groups are. I guess we'll find out on the pad before I throttle up the engines. Crap. It's night again. Why is it always night around here? Give me the daylight. There you go. There you go. The Ultraman. We're going to fly him out to the island runway again, because I've done this all before. If we can. SAS on. Throttle to none, because... Okay, so 1 apparently just turns on the cheetah. I'm pretty sure. And I shouldn't really be hearing it right now. 2 turns on... Which of these? Turns on his feet. Yeah. 3 turns on his armpits. He's got way more engines in here than anybody thought he had. And with all of them on, fire up and take off, Ultraman! Ultraman! Away! And then he can immediately bank down with everything jostling and jiggling and wiggling. I love it. I love it. He jostles himself right down. Yeah! And he's got a backpack of... Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Wait, then 4 probably switches afterburner mode, right? Oh, crap. He goes really fast, really quick, doesn't he? It's 4? 4 is now... That's dry. So now he's burning dry. Can he maintain his height while burning dry? Yeah. Okay. So apparently I designed it so that you could actually maintain... You could save fuel by running him dry when you didn't need to go fast. Looks like his top speed in dry mode is somewhere near the 260s. We're making height, so yeah, somewhere around here. When we go wet, let's see what his max speed was when he was really, having a diuretic day after a lot of Mexican food the night earlier, Chipotle. What do you want, Paws? We hear you. Maybe we do. Is the microphone still working? We hear you meowing, wanting attention. So his max speed wet looks like it's going to be somewhere near 320 meters per second. Somewhere in that realm. Let's turn him down. Turn him down. Back to previous speeds, and we're gonna go land Ultraman. I don't know why I named him Ultraman either way. He's more of a Voltron. He's made of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th detachable parts that don't do anything on their own. I'm pretty sure. I never got around to that. Yes, coming in at the island runway with the sun off in the distance. There you go. There's the. That's not a screenshot. Nobody could tell what the hell he was if he did it like that. Don't worry about your screenshots, Pawn. Worry about the fact that you're coming in at 200 and something meters per second. Deploy our air brake. Woo. Yes, we call that the air brake. That's what he calls it when he wants to impress women, anyway. Would you like to come home with me and see my air brake? Ooh, you've got an air brake? Yes, I do. Closing time. Time to come and see the Ronin Pawn's air brake in bed. Okay, we need you... Yeah, we need you standing pretty much straight up and down. If I recall correctly, he also has RCS that can help him with landing operations and stuff. We need to throttle up, because there we go. We're losing height pretty quick there. Throttle back up so that we can descend evenly. But if I turn the RCS on, you'll notice his fingers are made of liquid fuel burning monoprop. They're not monoprop, but they're, thruster engines. They're Verners, thruster blocks like for monoprop. So we can use LFO as monoprop as we descend. And I've got some of them on his belt for left and right. I've got some on his feet. Right? I swear, yeah, they're there. Why aren't they firing? Are you guys only for rotation? They're only for rotation, apparently. Okay, I must have made them so that those are for rotation, and then the belt is the place where we do translation kind of maneuvers on it. Yeah, I thought of everything, except for going down. I didn't think about going. You need to go down, Pawn, and a little bit forward too. There you see him when we rotate. See him kicking. So if you want to do really tight maneuvers, if you're like whipping down at the ground and you want to fly, say, underneath a bridge at the R&D center, then you might want to turn the RCS on so you can get a little bit more control authority to make those quick maneuvers. That's a nice length there. I wouldn't mind that. Unknown Keller? No, who said that? I don't know. It already scrolled off my... No, there it is. Hologram 1. You're obviously not named it something that could easily be guessed as the obvious killer. No. I didn't want to be an obvious killer. Where are you going? You need to go this way, Pawn. Burning liquid fuel all of the time, no matter what you're doing. Come on. Come in for a landing. We are losing height now, right? Yes, and at a reasonable speed. And now we've got the direction that we want for descent. Somewhat. Right? But if I'm firing straight down, then our TWR is going to come up on us, isn't it? So, a little bit lower, and then fizz warp me down. What are we doing on the TWR? 0.99. Yeah, we're not descent. Okay, so throttle down a little bit more, and lean you a little bit forward, apparently, because you're not over the thing that I want you over yet. And then fizz warp me down some more. 14 meters per second remaining. That's pretty good, actually. It's not a bad way to descend. Throttle down a little bit more now. Yes, you're coming in where I want you. You just get you on screen would probably be a good idea. On at 12.5 meters per second. We're gaining speed as we're falling now, so I want to put some more throttle back on. Do I have RCS H? No. No going up or going down. It's only for translation and rolls and stuff like that. So, now we can use the RCS to kill our vectoring going in those directions, and then I need to stop us from going off. And am I firing in the right direction? You should be. Oh, well, you gotta lean straight up, or else that ain't gonna work for you. Now, back like that. I need to throttle back a little bit because we're gaining height again. Throttle back, and then we want to be going straight up and down. Throttle back even more. Yeah, I need you dead on the top of the ball, straight skyward. There you go. And we're going back up, damn it. Throttle down some more. Fizz warp me until that going down comes back on us. There we go. Now it's going down on us. Which I'm a fan of. And then over here, actually, not my thing. I mean, I'm not going to turn it away, but there are other things that I prefer. Anyway, I'm throttling up. Bon, we turned in for Kerbal. You're flying a Voltron, talking about things. Okay, and then with the RCS, because we need to be coming down just perfectly flat when we do it. Okay, we're starting to peter out. No. Gonna come down pretty damn slow too. I think like 4 meters per second. Whoa, that's 8 meters per second, Pawn. Throttle all the way up. Throttle all the way up. Yeah, and then no, don't turn them off. But yes, Queen Slay. Yes, Queen Slay. Okay, and then throttle all the way back up. All the way back up, and set down. Set down. Yit. I did it! Penis flap retract! I landed him! Holy crap. First time in ages I've flown him and I landed him. Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's how you fly a Voltron Ultraman on a Ronin Pawn live stream. Those are my favorite craft that I made, and they will shortly be uploaded somewhere so that you can download them. The first place that they will land, I will promise you this, in order to create encouragement for people to come onto the Discord server, just because, I like having people around. Discord.roninpawn.com. You come to our Discord server, and you'll see these craft dropping in the KSP Craft Files channel very shortly. And then you can take these craft, modify them, make them make the slightest bit of sense, and then send them back to me in the KSP Craft file. Through chat channel. Or you can just send me your craft, and every once in a while we go through and look at all the crafts that you guys have sent me. I try and keep up on downloading them. These are my favorite things to do with Kerbal. You know, and that's why, you know, we're doing this the Christmas season, because, you know, rainbows on bombs and cancer on kittens. These are a few of my favorite things. Also, I do like the font wingdings, which is a very controversial. I don't use one. Noah Craw Cheering 5. You could pin your craft in the craft channel. You pin your craft in the craft. I'll pin you. It's a good idea. RCS off, SAS off. Will you stand there on your own? Yes. Just what he does is he stands there and he helps. Oh, there's another one out here from back when we first built it. He stands there and he helps, like, bring the craft in and out, you know? Come on, a little further back. He's just letting them know. You've got this much space. Now this much. Now this much. Boom. What? You didn't stop. I told you how much space you had. I love it. I'm leaving another one out there. Screw it. Back to the Space Center. And that was a Kerbal stream. We're done for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We did the Minmus thing. I got to show you my brand new build on the Pilgrim that I love. I'm absolutely in love with that. Looked at all those. So we bought some new science in the career mode. We accomplished things. We accomplished things, and we'll accomplish more things tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, when we'll be right back here again to do some more something. I'm being very inconsistent these days, and we missed some XCOM. So I make no promises that it will be a Kerbal stream. It's supposed to be a Kerbal stream on Mondays. So it might be tomorrow. Be back here at 4. But Crikey. Be back here at 4 p.m. tomorrow for possibly more Kerbal. But I don't know. I could be convinced to do something else. I don't think I can VR Minecraft for, you know, another month or two while I'm getting my wind back. But I could be convinced. We'll see. We'll just have to see. You never know what's going to happen here. On a Ronin Pawn live stream at twitch.tv/Ronin Pawn. Mage Lord, here's a nickel to convince you, says Mage Lord. To do XCOM or Kerbal? Let me know tomorrow back here 4 p.m. Eastern. See? I know how this thing works. Huh? Yeah. Keep them coming back. Don't let them know what's going on, then they can't plan anything, and then they won't come back. I don't think I know how this thing works. Thank you for the cheers. I love you all. See you next time. Pawn out.
In it swam the savior, having the time of her life.